Good morning, good afternoon. If you're not watching live, if you're watching maybe somewhere else in the world, it could be good evening for you. If you are my partner in crime, Jackson Lambros, it's a very early morning. So a wonderful good morning to him and a good sunrise to him as we go through here. It is a Kart Chaser live here with the Indy Karting Challenge, the K1 circuit, which is such a fun track. We're running a fun layout today. Things are getting going, things are getting moving and grooving. If you've joined us here live behind the paywall, good morning. Thank you very much. And it is heat time for this wonderful Saturday morning, round 9 coming up to set things through. 5 minutes plus 2 laps coming at you here. And Jackson, good morning, sir. Qualifying was fun. Warm-ups were fun this morning. I got to ask, what are we looking for in the heats? What are you thinking is going to happen here?
We're seeing a lot of guys kind of venture into the great unknown. A lot of these guys know Whiteland Raceway Park like the back of their hands, like knowing K1 circuit like the back of their hands, but never truly in this way, or not as much this way as we run in the counterclockwise, or excuse me, I suppose the clockwise formation, turning right in a track where we're so used to turning left, this iconic tri-oval. We're taking what seems like the opposite direction, but what becomes what's originally a very complex opening handful of corners to set up for a long pair of straightaways becomes a single kind of keyhole that evolves into some very big opportunities to throw haymakers and switchbacks going across the starting zone and going back and forth. So it's going to be very interesting to see how these guys interact with each other on track. What kind of commitment are we going to need to see to get moves done here? I don't think it's going to be much. This is one of the higher speed complexes we have here. We've got two great kind of tri-oval, I suppose, combinations here for speed, but you combine that with some really good inner loop complexes as well to see some switchback sticks. So going to be very interesting to see how these guys get moves.
I'm very excited to see how things play out, where the moves come from. And again, we kind of talked about it earlier, Cadet and Sportsman first, and then we move on from there to the 206 Masters. And we're going to see very different styles of racing from those three. But then we throw in KA Junior and 206 Lights, and we get even different racing from them than we get now from any of the other classes. So it's going to be exciting to kind of see what was learned, what was found through qualifying, and what the different race styles are going to be. You could see some of likely the 206 Sportsman. We are splitting Cadet and Sportsman here. Some drivers sitting there on the bench. We'll see if they wave at us here. If they hear us talking about them, they probably won't. They're probably getting ready for racing as we're going to roll the first set of karts here out going through. And this is 206 Cadet, so we will keep Cadet and Sportsman split for the racing. And it is going to be Patrick McNeely rolling things off here up front. Diesel Maxwell in second place. Grace Guys P3, Kyler Hendrickson in fourth, and Reed Crampton, your 5 206 Cadet karts. They're going to be taking on this 5 minutes plus 2 laps here. Keys to the race, I would say, patience and just consistency running through. That is going to be, I think, the key to really getting things through. Again, I said it in qualifying. I'll say it again here, Jackson. In 206 Cadets, sometimes you see them, still just really trying to nail those fundamentals of karting. So I think in this Cadet Sportsman class, sticking to your fundamentals, sticking to what you know, especially when you're in a unique layout like this, is very important.
And I think it's going to be managing aggression too. Again, drafting going to be so important. I think these guys are going to have to learn to turn the wick down a little bit, learn to find that right opportunity to strike, but finding a good balance of, knowing when to strike, knowing when to back off. Again, still got a 10-minute final later on in this afternoon. The last thing you want to do is risk man and machine and trying to make a move stick when you've still got plenty of racing ahead. But it is time for us to put the visors down and lock in as we get set for 5 minutes and 2 laps of racing. Green flag in the air. We're racing for the first time here in round 9. A clean getaway there for Pat McNeely as he works his way through the hairpin for the first time. One kart very slow on the exit of the hairpin. I want to say Kyler Hendrickson having to get that refired and jumped back up to full sung, but we are clean and green through the first handful of corners here.
Everybody coming through for the first time down around this layout, which we are calling the, let's see, let me double check myself. The 73R layout is what I have this down as we come through around down into the right hander and up towards the tri-oval we go, towards that wonderful banked corner we go. All carts starting to spread out, go through. Now it's a long run down the backstretch into a 180-degree right-hander into a 180-degree left-hander, back-to-back hairpins as they go, and this will set up some great passing opportunities. You can see slightly different lines being taken there as we go along and continue to battle through. And this is the point: get the head down, follow through 90-degree right, and then long down the front stretch. It is the heat here, 3 minutes 45 seconds left to go, plus 2 laps, and then you got to think from there about the final just later this morning going through. They won't race again this afternoon unless they're racing in one of our afternoon classes, micro mini, going through. So if they are racing micro mini, of course they're thinking about that. But if you're not, well, this is the penultimate moment of your day. You're just going, you're running, you're showing. Most of these drivers will likely be racing this afternoon, though. Going through up in the front, McNeely Maxwell separated by 0.3 of a second here. McNeely with a 51 flat last time through and a 51-1 for Maxwell. But you can see their Diesel Maxwell starting to close the gap a little bit here as we go along. Looks over the shoulder, nobody behind, can just focus ahead.
You can see McNeely starting to defend early here, went all the way down to the curbing early in that run into the hairpin. And Maxwell is clearly trying to work his way through. You can see how much shallower of a line he had as he worked his way through the second hairpin. Let's see if that's mimicked as he continues to just put the pressure on McNeely, forcing a mistake. Diesel Maxwell has the pace. Again, that purple lap of 55.42. Can he find the space to get himself to the point? Another look to the inside as we work our way to the hairpin. Rhino liner on the outside going to help drivers make that move and go a little bit wide, because if you've got one line inside or outside, that script is going to flip the next corner. So going to be very interesting to see with this lineup how much you're going to be able to run side by side and run over unders once we get to the final, once rubber gets laid down as we get further on throughout the day. Across the stripe for the second time, Maxwell still finding the faster pace on track. They're going almost side by side, but Maxwell has to back out of it again.
Yeah, backing out of it here. Still looking, still trying to find something to get through. Maxwell is in that 141 cart going through. McNeely up in the front, going around and down the backstretch again. That gap down 0.2 of a second, still closing up. Do we look for a move down the inside here in the hairpin? It's going to be a defense from McNeely actually coming through. Great decision there. Sets it up a little bit inside, sets a little bit inside for the next run, and then we'll run this track out. I definitely think that shows a bit of knowledge there from McNeely and Maxwell, looking through side by side down the front stretch they were going to go, and then Maxwell not able to make that one stick. Still trying to find somewhere to put the nose through, looking for somewhere to make that run all the way out. Not able to go through yet. Again, setting up different lines there through the corners, trying to find something to help set up a move, losing a little bit of time here as they go along. Still trying to find that pass through the tri-oval. Once more we go.
Again, momentum so important in these 206 power plants. You want to maximize all of that speed, and you're seeing Maxwell kind of pop out of line a little bit earlier than I would expect, because again, you want to tuck in that draft, you want to maximize that straight line speed and try to carry as much of that momentum as possible to get to the side pod of the guy in front of you. Again, wasting no time there, trying to pop out through the tram lines and through the kink. He's still unable to get that move done. That's some great defense as well for McNeely. He knows the mistakes that Maxwell is making so far and is acting accordingly to keep him at bay. But with 10 seconds to go, we'll see the twin sticks coming out this time by. And the front row is pretty much set at this point. Kyler Hendrickson a little bit further back on an island of his own. It was engine issues at the start for Grace Geist, a major bog down at the start. It's going to be The question of who will be on the inside of the front row. A little bit of a look to the inside now for Maxwell. Tries hanging it low out of that true hairpin. But again, McNeely going middle of the racetrack to defend and trying to break the draft. It's working right now, Brad.
Yeah, he's doing a great job here going along. Just needs to hold on to this going through. 2 laps to go as they come around here through this infield section, heading out towards the tri-oval bank corner as they go through. Again, still sitting about a tenth and a half separating as they were when they crossed the line. And it's just a matter of finding that place to get the pass done here. I think Maxwell knows we're nearing the end and is going to start getting a little bit more aggressive here. That's a good run coming through. A good defense, though, from McNeely up the inside, holding on there through with a great racecraft being shown. Watching around here as we'll come across through, looking over the shoulder. Neither of them does. They're focused in ahead. They'll cross the line, 1 to go this time by.
Maxwell staying in line this time across the stripe for the white flag. And now we see the experimentation start to begin. It's been a 5-minute cram session right now for Maxwell, studying this rear bumper of the 538, trying to see where he could potentially make a move, where he might have the momentum, and where he won't be able to close that gap. Prime opportunity going to be right here through the start zone. Are we going to see a move this time by? He's a little bit to the inside, but there's some late anchors for both of these drivers. They go deep through the first hairpin. How's it going to look through her hairpin two? Not too bad. Out of the exit, and McNeely able to hold on for the time being. But as we work our way through the kink, we're running out of time. We're running out of opportunities. Maxwell saw him make a handful of looks this time by. It won't be enough. And Patrick McNeely going to start on the front for the 206 Cadet Final. Diesel Maxwell bringing it home in a P2 with Hendrickson, Geist, and Crampton rounding out your 5-car field.
Great battle there between McNeely and Maxwell going through, battling it out hard to the end, but in the end, it was just that little bit of racecraft from McNeely being able to defend through those hairpins that really shows through. And I'll tell you right now, if those 206 Sportsman drivers were watching, they're going to be taking notes. They're going to be aware of what was just happening, and they're going to be paying attention and setting that up here and taking notes. If you're Lee Simonelik, you definitely were taking notes of what Maxwell and McNeely were doing. Blake Martinez is going to be looking to defend very hard behind as well, so was taking some notes of what Patrick McNeely was doing. But that is one of our heats down. We'll get wound up and ready for 206 Sportsmen to come out next as our 206 cadets exit the track. As soon as they cross the line, it's an immediate hard left turn there through that white and black barrier on the right-hand side of your screen, and then they exit around through. 206 Sportsmen, though, coming up next. Blake Martinez up front, Lee Simonelik in second, Lincoln Willie in P3 with Kason Hendrickson in fourth, Christopher Heinzen in P5, and Oliver Shahan in P6. I'm going to be excited to really see who can take on Blake Martinez. The gap in qualifying was 0.3 of a second between Martinez and Simonelik, but qualifying's about speed. The race, the heats, the final, that's about racecraft, and sometimes racecraft can outdo speed. Karts get rolled out here on circuit. Now, one thing to note here for the race procedure today is they do get a full warm-up lap, and they don't actually need to go double file until they exit the tri-oval. So they will continue along through around for a full warm-up lap. They get to go all the way around, and the start line, again, the start-finish line is there as we traditionally see it through the angle of the front stretch, what we would traditionally call turn one. They're starting them out today on the back stretch there right into the hairpin, which I think is a great setup. I really like seeing how that kind of aids to the run. It kind of a layer of challenge, but you could see all of the drivers being told, hey, keep it moving along and, you know, get all the way through the tri-oval, then you form up double file. It's a great thing to see that extra run going through.
It's going to be interesting to see how that evolves over the course of today, because what stands out to me is, again, if you're able to carry that momentum on that outside line, it's not going to be game over the minute you go through that first corner, because outside becomes the inside. We'll see what Light Salmonella can do here from the outside as we go green in that green helmet. Great move to the inside. Lincoln Wiley going to try to go the long way around through the hairpin. Big losses there for Simon Nellick, but Lincoln Wiley in the 44 seizes the start and gets to the point early.
Now that is a great way to kick off a race start here in 206 Sportsman going along. Let's see if you can capitalize and hold on going through everybody through the infield section here, holding on as best they can going through single file, everybody winding things up and getting those 206 Sportsmen up to speed, up to the RPMs and getting them ready to go. Now it's the long straightaway here. And with the banking in this Daytona corner, you really don't lose speed. You're not, it's a corner,
No.
yes, but you're not really having to worry about it. Long slipstream going through down into the hairpin, get that cart turned, going through left and or right and then left. And now 90-degree right, 90-degree right. Tuck the helmet here and just focus ahead. Let's see as they cross the line how things wind up after our first 60 seconds of racing. And again, what a great race start there. Blake Martinez holds on up front. Lincoln Wiley is in second. Lee Simonellic there in third. Casey Hendrickson in fourth. But it's great battles there from second place on back.
Watch the orange helmet there of Casey Hendrickson in the two. He's been putting radar lock on Light Simonellic, but Lincoln Wiley further up hasn't been able to hang on to Blake Martinez, and it becomes a 3-car battle right now for row 2 and 3. A look to the inside. Good momentum from Simonellic as he goes onto the anchors, not able to fully shut the door as Simonellic going to try, or excuse me, Wiley going to try to get through. Now Hendrickson tries to find the real estate and do a crossover, cannot fully clear that move. You can see Simonellic moving forward and back, trying to maximize the straight line speed that 206 has. It's not enough. We're nearly side by side as we work our way through, but it looks like Casey Hendrickson just barely able to get himself into that podium spot.
Losing 2 spots in the price of 1 lap for Wiley there going through. Not ideal here, but the good news about 206 Sportsmen's, you can rebound that very quickly, put the helmet down and just focus ahead. You can redo what happened there. Blake Martinez holding on a 2.5 plus lead, continuing to gain as the battles continue through the hairpin. Everybody just trying to find real estate, trying to set things up. The most challenging section of this track, I would argue, is that back-to-back hairpin, and it's right at the end of the lap, so it sets up for some great runs here as we cross the line going through. 2 minutes left to go here in this heat race for 206 Sportsmen. And again, through the infield section, see everybody just single file holding on their own, trying to keep things through, and then they're going to bring it down into that 180 right-hander that leads us on to that wonderful Daytona corner down the back stretch. We go along here. The green helmet of Simonellic in second place is out of drafting range. Did close a little bit last time, but is well out of drafting range from Martinez. Hendrickson trying to close time here, and Willie still trying to close up to Hendrickson.
So 2 spots lost there for Lincoln Wiley, and further pressure behind now from Christopher Hines, and you see him right there in the 767. Might make it another spot dropped for him from P4. Nobody home for Blake Martinez, but with Light Simonellic and Casey Hendrickson working with one another. Hendrickson just setting the fastest lap with a 48.514. Tell you what, Brad, if these guys keep working together, they might be able to give themselves a fighting chance. 1.3 seconds might be a little bit too much right now to close that gap. So maybe it's just working with the tools they've got right now, trying to maximize the positions they can work for right now and give themselves the best position possible for the final. Hendrickson is right there. He looks to the inside, coming out of the hairpin, tries to set up the crossover as we work back onto the kink in the dog leg. Not able to get there just yet.
Still holding on here, keeping the battles alive. Hendrickson very clearly the faster kart by some run over Lee Simonellic here going through. But again, it's one thing to catch, it's another to pass. And sometimes that all-out pace is trumped by racecraft, which is kind of what we're seeing right now. 15 seconds on the clock. They'll get the 2 to go as they cross the line this time by. So it's this lap plus 2 more to finish as we go through. Gap 1.5 seconds there. You could tell just how important it is to kind of work together because Simonelli and Hendrickson, them having that battle through the hairpin like they're doing again right now as Hendrickson tries to find a way through and Martinez just able to head down, run the line and go. But every time Hendrickson makes Simonelli go defensive, that lets Martinez open that gap as they cross the line. Let's get a reset on where that gap is here. As we're 2 to go this time by, and it's actually 1.2 seconds as they go through. So Simonelli closing a little bit here, even with having to defend on Hendrickson. Martinez not as good of a run as would have thought, but as we're ending this race here, I still don't think there's enough time.
Yeah, I think it's going to be too little, too late. So we might see the friendship there thrown out the window, and all of a sudden, maybe Hendrickson would like to start outside the front row. Maybe we see that reservation because, again, you want the best kart possible for the 10 minutes and 2 laps you've got. Just a little bit further down the row, you can see Hendrickson not wanting that. He wants that outside row, and he had a really good setup for the crossover, but Simon Ellick shut the door. White flag. This time by, it's the battle for second, and just a little bit further back, the battle for P4 as Wiley continues to hold off Henson. Nobody home for Blake Martinez.
Great battles continuing along here, going through as we hit this final lap, going through towards the tri-oval we go, the Daytona Bank corner, and you can see Simonelli, Hendrickson right there bumper to bumper as they go looking for something somewhere. Martinez with a great run. Now let's look at this. Hendrickson is going to force Simonelli to go to the inside. Simonelli defends inside. Now coming through the first hairpin into the second we go, and it is still defense here. Hendrickson trying to set up some sort of a move here against the green helmet of Simonelli, trying to find some way through, not able to in the second hairpin. Going to come across. Martinez leads every lap, brings it through, and Blake Martinez will take the checkered flag to win the 206 Sportsman Heat. Simonelli will be able to defend against Case and Hendrickson, holds on there by just a few tenths of a second. Christopher Heinzen will bring it across in P4. Lincoln Wiley in 5th place, and Oliver Shahan in 6th in that number 22 kart crossing the line. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is 206 Sportsman Heat done. You'll see them next for their finals here later this morning.
Going to be very interesting to see how that dynamic changes as we work into the finals. Do we see a little bit more pack racing between, P4 all the way up to P2, maybe trying to close that gap to Blake Martinez, or are we going to see that same level of aggression? We'll have to wait and see, but right now it's time for us to move on to the crazy old men, and I mean that in the most endearing way possible, as the 206 Masters take the track for their pre-final in just a couple moments' time. Stay with us.
.206 Masters Heat coming at you next here, and let's go down this starting lineup. Troy Toney stole an absolutely ridiculous great lap there at the very end. Caught me off guard, that's for sure, going along here in the qualifying, and that was his final lap, his best lap coming across with a 48.512. Evan McCorkindale in 2nd place in that number 191, but currently in the points lead, battling with Troy Toney in a very close margin. J. Brian Williams, P3 in points, P3 on track, with Kevin Simonelli in 4th, Matt Geist in 5th, and Mike Haymaker. Can he throw some haymakers in that number 6 plated kart in P6 and try to find his way forward? Jake Wade will be in 7th, Chad King 8th, and 9th place is the 656 of William McLaughlin. What can he bring to the table today? We've already seen some good racing going on, and again, I'm just going to point out, you're the one that called them the crazy old men, not me, Jackson. I'm just going to let that one ride for a second. Please direct any complaints directly to Jackson, as I did not say it. He's not wrong.
Hey,
I will say that.
Don't
but I'm not
shoot
the one
the
who
messenger.
acknowledged
That was Xander Clemens who originally coined the term, and it's only an endearment because when you look at these group of guys who've got a wife and kids at home, they're still putting it on the line for the love of the game, and there is no reservation from any of these guys. It's fantastic to see because you see us get to the older groups and you maybe ask if they turn the dial down and get a little bit more reserved. Not one
No.
bit. We'll see just how aggressive they will get here as we get set for the heat. Again, Tony on the inside punched his golden ticket with a monster lap during qualifying. Is he going to be able to carry that pace, or can the Dynamo Evan McCorkadale work his way back to the point onto the tram lines for 5 minutes and 2 laps? Fantastic start from the inside line. Brian Williams going to be able to work through as well. Simon Nellick has to defend to the outside. What a great start from that inside row, though, and everybody jumped the gun to get to that apex first.
That inside line definitely had their pumpkin spice lattes this morning. They were ready to party going through. Let's see here as they get going through the first lap. Can they keep the battles alive? Can they keep things going? It's Tony, Brian Williams, Geist, McCorkindale down into fourth on the run. Matt Geist up into third as they cross the line. Jake Wade was able to pick up a place in Simonellic in P5 as they go through. Battles will continue through the infield section, now through the hairpin. They go on to the Daytona corner, and it is the top four that are going to stick fairly nose to tail as they come along. Let's see what they can do to find some battles alive here. Brian Williams in that black helmet. Can he find a way down the inside? Well, down the inside, I see Geist and McCorkindale battle it out there in the battle for P3 as they continue along. Top four are going to get this whole battle going side by side for a moment. Tony and Brian Williams go along, and as they cross the line for the first time, nose to tail, the top four, a little bit of a gap back to P5 of Simonellic. Let's see what the points leader, Evan McCorkindale, can bring. He's up in third right now, 49.122. He was the fastest car on track, but I tell you what, they're battling it out hard here early on for the 206 Masters. Just one lap in, 3.5 minutes left to go.
You can see how big that gap is from P4 already to P5. That's why you're seeing this aggression this early. You want to stay in contention, stay in that front pack, not get cut off, not lose that pace. And I think a lot of these guys know that if they're at the back of this field, there's a good chance that they won't have help from the bumper behind to push them. Still nip and tuck here as we work our way out of the hairpin. First time we've seen such a level of reservation. Great starts, though, for J. Brian Williams and Evan McCorkadale, as well as Matt Geist. Each of those guys making up one position in the whole shot. J. Brian Williams looking for his first front row start for the pre-finals. He'll look to the inside. He wants to lead that thing outright when we get to the final. But again, still 2.5 minutes to go here. Not trying to risk too much. Another peek to the inside as we work to the tri-oval. We're side by side, and McCorkadale able to get through and immediately get in line for P2.
Yeah, McCorkindale there, the yellow cart, green helmet. Well, maybe it's a blue helmet. We'll argue about that later, but going through with a great run. Brian Williams, black helmet there, going through, continuing to battle, trying to defend from Geist as they come around along, and all the while, Troy Tony not even looking back, just helmet down, looking forward, not letting anything shake the confidence up in the front as we go through. McCorkindale there. Watch that green helmet. Will there be some sort of a step out of line through the infield section? Slight peek over the left shoulder there from Tony, trying to look, just see if there is something to be found. There's not. So Tony will continue along in the lead here, going through down towards Daytona we go. And I tell you what, it's not the Daytona 500, but we are going to watch them make a run down towards the line. McCorkindale there with the run down the inside, looks over, trying to spot. Side by side they go, and McCorkindale started on pole, lost it out early, and is going to be up to the front here, going through, still battling it out through the second hairpin, though. Things get mixed up greatly there as we see battles continue along, going down around the final corner. Side by side we go for P3. Coming across the line is going to be Evan McCorkindale, who is ahead now of Troy Tony with Brian Williams and Geist still trying to settle it out for P3.
That was an expensive move there from Brian Williams. He tried to get Tony and try to make it 2 spots lost for the 24, but Tony able to shut the door on the low line. And then Geist tried getting through for P3 as well. He's lucky he's got these 2 long straightaways to help him.
Sometimes it's just kept right at a good simmer, at a great simmer for, cooking eggs, I'd say, here as it is the morning, and breakfast. Some scrambled eggs sound good right about now. Let's see how they go through. As the time is over, we will get the popsicle sticks as they come through. The 2 to go signal will be given. McCorkindale not even bothering to look behind, just holding forward, but you do see Brian Williams there and Tony continuing to battle here as they cross the line. They go along. Let's see where they are here. 2 to go signal, and it is just a quarter of a second, I'll call it, between McCorkindale and Tony. But Tony, I think right now you have to shift kind of to defending to Brian Williams more than attacking McCorkindale. You really need to hold on to that P2 if you can. Third place, second place battle. Fourth place of Geist has dropped back a little bit more, and fifth place of Simonellic a little bit further back. But you can see everyone continuing to run their pace, run their race along. Fastest card on track, if you're curious, by the way, is J. Brian Williams. 48 flat is the best time on track right now, set by J. Brian Williams. So as they come through the double hairpins here, coming through to the 1 to go signal, it will be looks over the shoulders, slightly spread out. McCorkindale might have a challenge this final lap.
What's the level of aggression we're going to see this time by? J. Brian Williams has tried so many times to get to that front row with help, but the man from Brownsburg, Indiana, Troy Tony, has done a phenomenal job at defending. Can he do it for one more lap? This will be the prime opportunity to see a change of spot as we work our way out of the Daytona corner. Already a clean breakaway from McCorkindale. He's out of striking distance. Tony cannot say the same with J. Brian Williams. It's not this part of the hairpin, as JBW likes to hang it low there and then dive at that second apex, but there will be no pressure further back out of the corner through the dogleg for the final time and to the checkered flag, as McCorkindale gonna start on the front and Troy Tony able to fend off from J. Brian Williams. That's a shot across the bow as well there, Brad, for Matt Geist, as he was really struggling to keep at pace with those top three.
Yeah, Matt Geist, I have a feeling that he'll have a bit more pace going into the final, but there through the heat was not able to keep up. Their gap opened up quite a bit in the end. Kevin Simonellic, P5, Mike Haymaker, P6, Jake Wade, P7, and Chad King, P8, going through at the end of this heat. K.A. Jr. is going to be the next heat, and I tell you what, K.A. Jr., they're going to have an interesting run for themselves as they go along. I don't really know how this one's going to go. I can tell you right now, it's going to be some exciting racing, though. So, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to just let the track sounds play for a second. Don't go away anywhere. Enjoy some music. Enjoy a second here. As soon as the karts get on track, we'll take you through that 206 senior lineup. Karts are fired up and rolling here. Now let's talk about this junior heat lineup. Jordan Lepin penning his way that 818 to the front. Andrew Avalos in P2. Mason Galen in P3. Nolan Wade in 4th. Bentley McCann in P5. Lucian Laser in 6th. And Jiju Sivakumar in P7. As they go, is already somebody trying to warm up the tires through the hairpin, having a light spin there. I believe that was actually Nolan Wade in 4th place, but you can see how important it is to warm up the tires here for K.A. Jr. And you know what? This is going to be an interesting one to watch, Jackson, because it's a very tight points battle. All of the drivers know it's a tight points battle. What are they going to do?
Save it for the final would be my theory. I think you see how much is potentially at play here, and the last thing you want to do is go this fangs out this early, especially with how demanding this track can be on these tires. You want to save some energy for the end. Jordan Lepine kind of acting as the dark horse in this race, taking the pull at the buzzer. Will he be able to hang on to it? Let's find out. Let's go racing in the KA Junior Heat. We are underway. Great defense there from Avelos, able to hang it around to the outside and throw the Uno reverse card. Galen able to go through as well. Lepine gets back in line and we go single file, but some great moves from the outside too, as they're able to get their way to the point.
Great battles already starting to develop, and I have a feeling this is going to be the story of this race here in KA Junior. Andrew Avalos, Mason Galen, Jordan LePen, Nolan Wade, and Bentley McCann, your top five as they cross the line. They head out towards Daytona now. Through the banking we go, and let's see how the draft plays out at the end when you hit that 180 hairpin. And right now, Mason Galen showing that it's going to be a big down the inside, two by two by two. They send it all along, and now they'll come around. Now, can you fight back through the second hairpin? Is the question as we go along down in through the final corner. Now, defend, watch yourself, and as they come through across the line, they go. Mason Galen did get the run on Avalos. LePen up in third. Lucian Laser was able to find P4. Bentley McCann fifth. Nolan Wade down into sixth, down two places. So plenty of positions to shuffle. And let me tell you right now, that is not the first time we're going to see this or the last time we're going to see this with KA juniors as they come through Daytona yet again here going along. Jackson, watch this hairpin.
We talked about this earlier, Brad. We knew that the higher speeds meant that the drafting effect was going to come so much more into play here with these higher speeds, higher power coming out of these KA motors. And Avelo's not going to need too much work here to stay in the bumper of Galen and mount that position back. All he needs to do is keep him honest through the tight and twisty sections and stay within about 0.8 of a second once we get to the back straightaway here as we work our way back onto the Daytona section. Watch this as we work out of Daytona. Still so far back, about 4 or 5 kart lengths. But by the time we'll get to the apex, that drafting effect is in play. And the two cars are able to so easily accordion back together. Lapine a little bit further back right now, and it looks like we've got a very close battle further back as Bentley McCann holding off Nolan Wade. That's for P5.
Battles continue along here all the way through the field as they go, but fastest car on track is Mason Galen right now with a 42.8 to a 43.1 from Andrew Avalos. So battles are going to continue to develop, but I have a feeling that first place kart of Mason, he set it up just right here going into the weekend, and it looks like he's able to take advantage and run through. Again, nobody in front, nobody close behind. Avalos needs to use the slipstream as much as possible to find his way through here. Under 2 minutes to go in this KA Junior Heat, the only heat that they'll run of the day. Next will be their final event as they go through crossing the line. Let's get an update on where that gap is. Gap comes through. It's 6.68 now, so does mean it's gaining a little bit, but they are still pulling out time on Jordan Lapine as they go through. Lucian Laser there in fourth, losing a little bit of time himself as he goes through. So that front two, let's see if they can condense things out, get things close. Let's see if Avalos can have a battle there with Mason Galen. Under 90 seconds to go.
Team Amex driver Andrew Avelos trying to put the pressure on Galen. And man, Lapine really struggling further back to close the door to those two. Kind of started to dilute here in the top three, Brad. And I think that's a little bit of reservation. Again, only one set of tires this weekend. A lot of guys aren't really used to the wear being on the starboard side. Again, we're so used to seeing guys rotate and flip tires on the port side with this very, very left-heavy course as standard. So again, a lot of guys learning, making adjustments on the fly to this new court, to this new layout to them, these new conditions. And again, another thought, so much more power on tap with these KA Junior power plants. Got to be so careful tiptoeing back on the power. We've seen some issues already here, even on the warm-up laps. It's another it's another factor of tire wear, of pace, of speed. When you've got that much on tap, you've got to know how to properly unwind it and stretch those legs on the straightaway.
Yeah, it's very, very important to know how to use all of your equipment as we go along here. Coming through the Daytona corner yet again here. Again, running it the other way around is so weird. I won't get used to it today, probably, but the drivers have no choice but to as they go along here through. Let's see here. hairpin looking. Good battle forming up for P4, 5, and 6 right now. McCann, Laser, and Wade have managed to close things up as they come to the 2 to go signal here this time by, and gaps as they update almost a second between that number 64 plated car of Mason Galen and the number 7 of Andrew Avalos. 4th, 5th, and 6th. They are in a tight battle, though. Keep your eye on them through these final 2 laps. Top 3 here have kind of managed to settle themselves in. 4th, 5th, and 6th very clearly are not done figuring out who is going to be there yet. Lucian Laser would love to get the position over Bentley McCann and get a little bit more in the terms of the points, as Lucian Laser would love to find a little bit more to be found. Currently P3 in points to Galen and Avalos. Last 2 rounds were drop rounds for Lucian Laser, so we'll need to have a good showing here today. Currently setting up to do just that. White flag this time by.
Yeah, today was supposed to be go time for Lucian Laser. Good opportunity for him to close that gap to the front of the championship standings. Was running up in P4, but Bentley McCann has reignited the pace in that triple one kart up in P4 as we look back to the sharp end of the field here. Avalos within striking distance, but again, no moves as we work our way out of the final corner. Galen slowly closing that gap. What's it going to look like here? Late lunge to the inside as McCann will lose that spot to Laser around the outside. He tries to go through nearly 3 wide as side by side. Nolan Wade tries to maximize it as well. Checkered flag is out. Mason Galen going to walk away with the win. And what a finish there for Major Laser. Lucian able to take that spot from Bentley McCann with Nolan Wade coming home in 6th. Great battles here in our lone KA group in the morning.
Great pass there, showing the benefit of a little bit of patience and just being willing to make that run through the hairpin. Shows the big difference to be found there. What a great showing there from Lucian Laser to get up into 4th place going through, and all of our KA junior drivers having a great run there, putting on a great showing in the run. Next, it's the last heat that we'll cover here on Kart Chaser for the morning. It is 206 senior lights coming out. This is going to be Braden Heber, that number 8. He's got 62 career wins. He's looking to add another one on today. Levi Wilbur in P2, Colin Harden P3, Colton Kelly 4th place, Derek Cutshaw P5, Gage Justiano in P6, Tyler Sims P7, Andrew Goldman P8, Ethan Williams and Gavin Hamilton, the 10 karts that will be taking on this 206 senior light heat. And karts are rolling on track here for this final heat of the morning. Before we step aside for a moment, take a quick break, and then come back to bring you the finals. And the finals here will be 10 minutes plus 2 laps as they go. And then, of course, this afternoon we will run Micro Mini, 206 Medium, 206 Junior, 206 Legend Supermasters, and KA Senior Masters run through in the afternoon. So penultimate at the K1 circuit, it's kids karts heats that come up after this going through. So show the kid karts some love as they go through around. Watch that yellow helmet, the blue kart of Braden Heber, as he'll try to hold off his current championship rival of Levi Wilbur in 2nd place. It's going to be a great battle to watch from those two as they go along and continue to just give each other some pressure where they can. Colton Kelly and Ethan Williams, P3 and P4 respectively in the championship standings. Ethan Williams has a long way to go to get up to the top here. Coming through Daytona we go. Braden Heber warming up the tires, getting things set up here for 5 minutes plus 2 laps. Everyone gets locked in. Into the tram lines they go. Will we get the green flag this time by. They bring it along here, going through. Let's get things wound up and going. And 206 Senior Lights for their heat is green down into the hairpin for the first time. Inside gets a great run there. Now it's defensive outside line to inside, going through big runs all the way along as we go 3 wide. But Braden Heber with a great start off here, 3 wide still in the back.
Everybody fangs out trying to get positions in the best of the rest running, and that's allowed Heber to shoot out like a cannon. But Cutshaw in the 94 able to gain a handful of positions up 2 in the whole shot, and you can see this massive freight train rolling into the first hairpin. We're going to need to see teamwork at this point, Brad, if anyone wants to close the gap to Heber with just 4 minutes and change on the calendar. First prime opportunity to make a move here as Cutshaw has already gained 2 positions. He wants to make that 3 potentially with a move to the inside. Levi Wilbert stays in line for the time being and will stay nip and tuck through the 2 hairpins. What a start, though, from Braden Heber.
Yeah, great start there from Heber. Let's see how good of a start it truly was here as they cross the line. We get some updated spacing, and it is 1.3 seconds right off the bat going through. So that is a big difference to be found there. Wilbur in second, Cutshaw in third. You can see them P2, P3, P4, P5. So a 4 kart battle there. Wilbur, Cutshaw, Harden, and Kelly continuing to battle it out as they go through the Daytona hairpin or the Daytona banked corner yet again. Now let's see what Slipstream gives here for Cutshaw. Cutshaw looking for a move on Wilbur into the hairpin. Doesn't do anything yet. A little bit of patience being shown here. Same thing from Kelly and Harden. A little bit of patience being shown as they will close up slightly there to Wilbur and Cutshaw as they come out of the hairpin. Down the front stretch they'll go. And let's see, are they going to gain anything on Heber this time by? I don't believe they will, as Heber will cross the line. They do gain a little, 1.1 now the gap.
And all of a sudden now that draft effect might expand because just further back, you've got Colin Harden and Colton Kelly entering the mix, and Kelly's clearly got some heat in that 38, just setting the purple lap that time by with a 47.644. Let's see if we see anybody start to work that pace back with a move into the hairpin. Good spacing further back. Looked like Cutshaw had the opportunity to make a move on Wilbur, but again, elected not to just yet. Knows what's at stake. Kelly just doing the exact same, not making, and let the presence be known to Harden just in front. Cross the line again. Pace now starts to go back Braden Heber's way as the gap expands once again to 1.2. So with just 2 minutes to go on the clock, are we going to see the teamwork continue, or will that camaraderie be thrown out the window? Back out of the Daytona corner here with all of that banking. Good launch here from Cutshaw. Are we going to see a flick to the inside? Not yet. Again, just so much reservation. And with how much speed these guys are carrying and how much tire wear these 206s have, just so much reservation. You still got so much to play here with the 10 minutes and 2 laps coming up in just an hour or so.
Yeah, and as we continue to watch this, I mean, you got to wonder, are they thinking about that a little bit further along, or what is kind of the thought process right now? If the thought process for Colton Kelly is be the fastest on track, Colton Kelly has managed that greatly, a 47.3 last lap through with a minute plus 2 laps to go for Colton Kelly. That is amazing pace because your leader is only running a 47.6. So if you're 0.3 of a second faster than the leader and you're the 4th kart in a 4 kart train right now, you're doing something right. Down the inside, Cutshaw's going to look here into the hairpin. Breaks a little bit earlier for the hairpin, though. Does not make that move stick on Wilbur. Gets a little swirly out of the hairpin. Down into the second hairpin. Now through the right-hander we go. And heading into the final corner we'll go. And just not able to make that run through. As we see further back, another good battle continuing to develop here. And this is going to be Sims, Goldman, Williams, and Allen battling it out here at the moment as they go through. So you've got 2 packs of 4 that have very clearly developed here in the 206 lights. You've got that front pack of 4 and that second pack of 4 that have formed up. 2, 3, 4, 5, leave a gap to P6, and then 7, 8, 9, 10 are battling it out very, very hard here as they go through front pack now through Daytona. With 10 seconds left to go, we should get 2 to go this time by, I believe, as we go through and around here. 5 seconds. Yes, we will get 2 to go this time by as they come through the hairpin. Nobody sets up a move in the front, but that second pack, look at that. Great battle going through in the background as we continue along here. 2 to go this time by.
Been Andrew Goldman in the 2 and Tyler Sims in the 19, going back and forth with one another. Ethan Williams and Zach Allen standing by to pick up the scraps in that group. It's been a heck of a show. Just a little bit further back, been a lot more tame further up as Ethan Williams actually gains 2 positions and leads that pack a little bit further back. You see that coming into view on the right-hand side of your screen. Running out of opportunities here. Does anybody want to take the lead in this 2 to 5 pack? Further back, you saw some moves earlier from Colin Harden, was wanting to potentially make a charge there, but he's too busy right now defending from Colton Kelly. He doesn't want to leave that door open to him. They'll have one more time around, and we'll see if we've had anybody save something for the final lap. But further back, Ethan Williams still leading the rest. Great battles no matter where you look here in 206 Light.
Yeah, it looks like that was actually the 2 to go signal. So I think it's this lap plus one more as they go along here. Let's see what happens. Maybe a little bit more opportunity to be found for some drivers, which we weren't expecting. I wonder if they were expecting it as they come through and along. Look at this down the inside, still looking for the move, and Cutshaw going to send it up the inside. Inside becomes the outside, though, so you have to be a little careful, and you either have to make the move stick or you got to just be aware here. And great awareness from Cutshaw, watching Harden and Kelly behind as they go through, coming across the line this time by. Let's see, it does look like white flag this time by. So Braden Heber will take the white flag. You can see Wilbur Cutshaw there very close together as they go along, still trying to look for moves where they can find them here. Final lap, final opportunity. Will you make it stick or will it pass you? Something, Mom Spaghetti.
Colton Kelly clearly having the pace, and in that 38 cart just does not have any real estate to charge forward. Last call to make a move here in the heat, and it's another look to the inside there from Cutshaw. Can't get it done. Harden tries to do the same through the point of the hairpin, and now Kelly tries to pick up the scraps. Nobody able to get that move done. It's going to be a good run here from Cutshaw, though, as we get to the line. Heber gonna run away with it. We'll go side by side across the line, and just barely we're gonna be able to hold off Cutshaw with Darius Cutshaw, then Colin Harden, Colton Kelly rounding out your top 5. Gage Justintino, kind of the one guy in this heat that was really on his own, and Williams, Goldman, Allen, Sims, and Houghton rounding out your field here.
Yeah, great run from everyone here as they go through. That is going to round out the heats for the morning here. 206 Senior Light putting on a great show. We're going to step aside, take a quick break here, and when we come back, it's finals time for the morning. And then again, if you want to join us for the afternoon, you should join us for the more racing here on Kart Chaser.
Food marketing. $9.99 a month.
Dude, Caleb, wake up. Dude, we're live in 5 minutes. Let's go. Come on. What are you doing?
Dude, I'm so sorry. Xander had me in a cat food marketing meeting till like 2 a.m. last night.
Come on, man.
Do you have anything I can drink?
Dude, I got the perfect thing for you. Perico. It's a healthy energy drink alternative.
Perico, non-GMO, gluten-free, kosher, magnesium, B12, B6,
yeah, it's good.
B5, biotin, and 0 sugar? Pericazo! Try Perico, made with natural ingredients, organic caffeine, and supports your metabolism. Try the new official energy drink of Kart Chaser.
Florida kart racers, you asked for it and we're going to bring it. Introducing Florida Karting Championship, FLKC, a brand new racing series coming to Florida in 2026.
This is Henry. Henry feels sad. Henry feels sad because it's time for his next big race and his go-kart is in bits. Henry doesn't know that Acceleration Kart Racing is the United States' #1 shop for all of your karting equipment needs. Henry also doesn't know that Acceleration Kart Racing can deliver anything from tires to race suits and even wheels directly to your front door or to the racetrack itself quickly and efficiently, with tech support available 6 days a week. Poor Henry doesn't even know that Acceleration Kart Racing offers free shipping to mainland USA on selected product.
Hey, what's up, Caleb?
What's up, Brandon?
You sound defeated. A long day at the office?
Yeah, got stuck at a cat food marketing meeting for like 3 hours. I don't know a thing about cat food, and I don't even work in marketing. And then I got sent on a coffee run like I was some sort of intern. Then at the end of the day, when I went to go get gas, I just realized everything is so darn expensive nowadays, man.
Yeah, you got that right.
Like, do you have any idea how much we're spending on Netflix?
That's like 20 bucks a month.
Do you know how much we're spending on cable?
That's like 50 bucks a month.
But you know what isn't expensive?
Tell me.
Kart Chaser Premium. For only $9.99 a month, you can watch all the American karting action live from coast to coast. Subscribe and become a member today.
Massimino wins in KA. Paulie Massimino is a winner in OKN Stars.
Take your driving to the next level with one-on-one coaching from 2024 OKN Stars champion, Paulie Massimino. Kart rental options are available if you'd like to keep yours at home, and drivers in all classes are welcome, from Briggs 206 to Mini to KA100 and X30. With in-depth data analysis, onboard video footage review, and lead follow on-track sessions, each private coaching session will see you end as a more complete driver than when you started. Book your coaching session now.
The K1 Circuit Semi-Pro League. This is a competitive race series with 2 classes. Junior Series for those who are under the age of 18, and the Senior Series for those who are 18 or older. If you think you have what it takes, come out and prove your skills on League Night. Both schedules are live on the K1 Circuit website. Your Kart Chaser live feed will resume shortly.
Champions aren't just born on the kart track. At SimShop, we deliver professional-grade simulators with the best performance-to-price ratio in the industry. Founded by racers who understand what you need, our SimMagic and Moza equipment is powerful enough for the pros, yet affordable for everyone. With unmatched customer support and a thriving community, we're your racing partner. Visit simshop.com today.
Are you ready to get behind the wheel? From Formula One to NASCAR and IndyCar, all the pros start here. For more information, check us out online at mcckarting.com or call us and go racing today.
Paulie Massimino wins the Wisconsin Grand Prix. James Overbeck on start number 2 gets win number 1 in OKN Stars.
On track or off, Brandon Jarsekrak Racing delivers elite performance. Led by 4-time Pro National Champion Brandon Jarsekrak, our team masters driver coaching, data-driven analysis, and mechanical precision at every national event. Contact us today at BrandonJarsekrakRacing.com.
Are you looking to take the next step in your racing journey? Well, look no further than PitFit.
With 2 locations in Charlotte, North Carolina and Indianapolis, Indiana, PitFit trains drivers all the way from grassroots level karting to Indy Kart and NASCAR, with top-of-the-line personalized coaching to improve physical and cognitive fitness.
For more information on programs, check out PitFit on Instagram or Facebook today.
Florida Kart Racers, you asked for it and we're going to bring it. Introducing Florida Karting Championship, FLPC, a brand new racing series coming to Florida in 2026.
Kyle, what are you doing?
It's got my new Greyhound seat.
You don't even have a cart.
Doesn't matter. I have a Greyhound.
Who the f is Kyle Cuthbertson? Doesn't even have a go-kart.
Doesn't matter.
Cuthbertson through on Turney. Turney in the dirt.
Cat food marketing. $9.99 a month.
Dude, Caleb, wake up. Dude, we're live in 5 minutes. Let's go. Come on. What are you doing?
Dude, I'm so sorry. Xander had me in a cat food marketing meeting till like 2 a.m. last night.
Come on, man.
Do you have anything I can drink?
Dude, I got the perfect thing for you. Perico. It's a healthy energy drink alternative.
Perico, non-GMO, gluten-free, kosher, magnesium, B12, B6,
Yeah, it's good.
B5, biotin, and 0 sugar? Pericazo! Try Perico, made with natural ingredients, organic caffeine, and supports your metabolism. Try the new official energy drink of Kart Chaser.
Are you stuck with your kart racing? Not sure the ideal kart setup? Or going to a track for the first time? Well, Kart Class has the answers for you. Our online portal has a wealth of experience and knowledge to help your kart racing. From kart setup advice to track guides that are targeted specifically to your circuit, or the driver coaching aspects with mindset, racecraft and driving techniques. If you want to take your karting to the next level, visit us at kartclass.com.
Hey guys, it's Lucas Nogueira here, and today we're going to talk about some cool features that Race Studio 3 has that people normally don't know about it. And the first thing is how to check the weather between 2 sessions on Race Studio 3, okay? So here, I got a comparison with Orlando on the Rotax, and if you look on the bottom left, I have the weather showing my ambient temperature, pressure, humidity, and even the wind direction and wind speed. And then I have this from 1 week of the Rotax Winter Trophy, and then the second week was a bit hotter. So we kind of know how the carburation will change when the weather changes. And to be able to get this, all you gotta do is when you are on Race Studio 3, you come up here and you're logging into your account. You gotta create an account on the AIM website and just log in. If you log in and have internet on, it will pull the weather from the previous year of sessions that you have. All right, so we got a second nice feature that a lot of people don't know about, which is the track map coming from Google on the background. So if you just connect your computer to the internet, you can come up here and click on this Google Earth icon, and it will pull the background from the Google Earth into your GPS data. So normally it's very well aligned, and you can see if the driver is hitting the apex, changing his line. But if it's not aligned, you can change which server you are using. So right here we are in Quaker City, it's a brand new track. If I change from Google to Bing, you'll see that I don't even have a track there because it's a brand new track and Bing hasn't updated. So if yours is not aligned, all you gotta do is change to a different server here. I've been using Google so far and it works pretty well.
You know, I'm really starting to like this go-karting thing.
Yeah, me too. Oh my gosh, can I show you this cute dress I just got?
Yes, of course. Oh my goodness, it's so cute.
I just love shopping.
I love shopping too.
Oh my god.
Wait, did you guys say you like shopping?
Of course.
Well, dude, I have the perfect place to do that at. ShopPayCara.com. At ShopPayCara.com, you can get free shipping on orders $200 or more. You can get anything you want, like MXC rims, gloves, rib vests, shoes, anything that you need, all at ShopPayCara.com.
Who is he talking to?
No idea.
But we're gonna have to check it out. Sounds like a great deal.
Sure does.
The K1 Circuit Semi-Pro League. This is a competitive race series with two classes. Junior Series for those who are under the age of 18, and the Senior Series for those who are 18 or older. If you think you have what it takes, come out and prove your skills on League Night. Both schedules are live on the K1 Circuit website. Your Kart Chaser live feed will resume shortly.
Let's go race.
Come on, man.
Cat food marketing. $9.99 a month.
Dude, Caleb, wake up. Dude, we're live in 5 minutes. Let's go. Come on. What are you doing?
Dude, I'm so sorry. Xander had me in a cat food marketing meeting till like 2 a.m. last night.
Come on, man.
Do you have anything I can drink?
Dude, I got the perfect thing for you. Perico. It's a healthy energy drink alternative.
Perico, non-GMO, gluten-free, kosher, magnesium, B12, B6,
Yeah, it's good.
B5, biotin, and zero sugar? Pericazo! Try Perico, made with natural ingredients, organic caffeine, and supports your metabolism. Try the new official energy drink of Kart Chaser.
Florida kart racers, you asked for it and we're going to bring it. Introducing Florida Karting Championship, FLPC, a brand new racing series coming to Florida in 2026.
This is Henry. Henry feels sad. Henry feels sad because it's time for his next big race and his go-kart is in bits. Henry doesn't know that Acceleration Kart Racing is the United States' #1 shop for all of your karting equipment needs. Henry also doesn't know that Acceleration Kart Racing can deliver anything from tires to race suits and even wheels directly to your front door or to the racetrack itself quickly and efficiently, with tech support available 6 days a week. Poor Henry doesn't even know that Acceleration Kart Racing offers free shipping to mainland USA on selected product if you spend $200 or more. Do yourself a favor. Go to accelerationkarting.com and make sure that you are never left stuck on the pre-grid with Henry. Be smart and don't be like Henry.
Good morning, race fans. We are back here on Kart Chaser, live at the K1 circuit for the Indy Karting Challenge here in Whiteland, Indiana. Myself, Brad, joined by Jackson Lambros, the West Coast man who woke up extra early this morning, got himself. Jackson, are you a pumpkin spice latte type of person? I have to ask. I'm just curious at this point. I don't think Jackson likes pumpkin spice lattes. I might have offended him there with that one, actually. So, with that being said, we're here, we're live, we're going, and it's time for the finals. Now, finals here at the K1 Circuit Indy for the morning. This is the last time these classes are going to run today. Last time they'll run all weekend, because again, this is just Saturday, round 9 today. We don't have a round 10 tomorrow. Round 10 isn't coming up for a month. You won't see that again until the first weekend of October. So, plenty of time for these drivers to take what they learned from this weekend, adapt it, use it, funnel it, and get ready for the next run here. And we'll get things ready to go here. It's going to be 206 cadets for 10 minutes plus 2 laps, 206 sportsmen, 10 minutes, 2 laps, 206 masters, KA juniors, 206 lights. So you have plenty of racing getting ready to come at you here from the circuit to round out the morning sessions. Afternoon sessions will then come along from there, and those afternoon sessions will be micros, minis, 206 mediums, 206 juniors, 206 legends, and supermasters, and KA seniors and masters. They will run the afternoon, and we'll do the same thing we did this morning, except for it'll be the afternoon, of course. Qualifying, heats, and then the finals. They'll have a warm-up session that they'll have as well going through. So this is going to be a fun one to watch and kind of see how things go along. It's been a fun morning so far, I have to say. It's been a very, very fun morning. There we go. I thought my pumpkin spice latte comment might have ran you off there, Jackson.
No. Okay, record can be shown. Nothing against PSLs. I think much like Christmas lights and Halloween stuff being put up, I think we're a little bit too quick on the button as a society right now. We just got done with Labor Day. It is September 6th. I think you got to wait at least until, at the very earliest, you got to be halfway till September before you're busting out the PSLs. And I'm a Californian. I don't think I even have weather that would ever justify a PSL. And I got 2 sisters at home, man. They will not stop talking about it, acquiring it. We're a week into September. It was 85 out yesterday. Come on now.
Well, I'm going to counter you on this. I think PSL should be year-round. I'm going to let that one go. We'll argue that one out later. And I'll tell you right now, it's not 85 degrees here in Whiteland. It's 56 currently in Whiteland, Indiana. Or it was this morning. Let me double check where the weather is at. It's a nice 62 degrees in Whiteland, Indiana. It feels like it's 70 though. But picture perfect sunny weather here for karting. Couldn't be a better day. I think a PSL would go great here at the K1 circuit. Anybody on circuit have a pumpkin spice latte? If you do, shout out to you.
Gotta
if
be
you
at least
don't,
one.
well, what are you doing?
I'll say this: perfect track weather right now, because again, you're not seeing the brutal heat, the brutal track conditions we're seeing on we've seen the past couple of weeks at especially at MCC for those of you that follow our regional stuff on Kart Chaser. You know, so no babying of the tires to that being an extra factor, right? You don't have to worry about overheating the tires nearly as much. You're kind of working in that prime temperature for making maximum horsepower. So should be a good mix. Just something less you got to worry about at this phase. At this phase, we can see the marshals working their way out on track as we should be getting set to go racing once again. Our countdown to green brought to you again, by the way, by Perico Energy, the official energy drink of Kart Chaser. Here's how they'll roll off for the 206 cadets. Patrick McNeely rolling things off from pole position alongside Diesel Maxwell. Kyler Hendrickson in third in the 95 alongside Grace Geist, who had a little bit of drama at the start with some engine issues in his 206 power plant. And then it'll be Reed Crampton rolling off to bring up the caboose in this 5-kart pack.
Everybody getting ready to go through 10 minutes plus 2 laps. So there is a little bit of a breathing endurance that has to go in here. But again, this, for some of these drivers, they are running in the afternoon. For some, they may not. So this is your final run going through. And if you're looking for points, if you're looking towards the end of the season for the championship, now's the time to really dial it in here. We'll see what they can do here in 206 cadets. Again, if you're not familiar with 206 cadets, maybe it's your first time joining us here on Kart Chaser. Good morning. Thank you for joining us. 206 cadets, 7 to 10-year-old drivers, 245-pound go-karts, including the driver. So that is going to be exciting to watch here to see how they bring it through for 10 minutes. Going around here through the trial. Well, they get a full warm-up lap here, and then coming out of the trial of the Daytona corner, they form it up side by side to go to the tram line. So they get one full warm-up lap, which is very important to get those tires ready.
So again, if you want a chance here to stay in contention for the finals, you got to strike early. Only 5 karts in this field, and we know how much these karts tend to break into groups and how important that draft is. So if you've got pace underneath your 4 tires, you got to put it down immediately. Great opportunity here for Patrick McNeely to expand that championship lead, but what can Diesel Maxwell do from that 141? We've seen a good mix here of different starting environments. That low line has really gotten away quick, but that has not meant it's impossible for those on the outside to make it work. If you're able to carry that momentum all the way around, you've got the inside when you get to the tightest corner on the track, that true hairpin. So we'll see what Diesel Maxwell and Grace Geist can do from the outside. McNeely, Hendrickson, back to Crampton, down low, picking the pace up early on the tram lines. And we'll fly the green flag. First final of the day for the 206 cadets. We're racing here at Whitelands.
Great start from everyone here as they go through the hairpins for the first time coming through. Start finish line, though, is not where the start line is. Now, start finish line is all the way down. Keep going. There. That is your start finish line when things get going. So there is a little bit of a gap there that goes through. Now, as we get going, Reed Crampton did get past Grace Geist there for 4th place as they go. Top 3 will keep it together. Patrick McNeely, Diesel Maxwell, and Kyler Hendrickson in your top 3 as they stand along, and then a little bit of a gap back to Crampton and Geist. But there's plenty of time left in this race. 9 minutes specifically is the time left in this race, plus the 2 laps after, which adds a little bit more action here. So about 15-ish minutes of racing to be found for these drivers to get their karts through. Let's see what they can do. Different line there from Maxwell, trying to get up to McNeely, trying to get a pass, but also needs to keep in mind Hendrickson behind. That is going to be the big thing for Diesel Maxwell, I think, here going through, Jackson, is what do you do? Do you attack or do you defend? And if you attack too much, you're going to have to defend, and it's going to it's a weird accordion position to be in.
Right. I think you almost want to attack early here because, again, if you're further back, you're already seeing that issue right now with Kyler Hendrickson as he slowly starts to break away from this pack and struggle to keep up with your front two. You want to put that pressure early. You want to lead. You want to have someone pushing you because sometimes you're better as a defender. Sometimes you're more comfortable as an attacker. I think if you ask most of these guys, they almost want to be in P2 in the closing laps, though, to give themselves the opportunity to strike, not be on the bubble the other way around. Looking further back here as Crampton and Grace Geist exit the hairpin section. And as we look back to the point, third of a second separating your top three. Purple lap that time by for Diesel Maxwell, a 50.590.
Great run from him there as he goes through Daytona we go. And this is going to be where I think things start to get interesting as they go. Here's the slipstream coming through for Maxwell. Can Maxwell take advantage of it? Looking around one way, then the other, not able to make a move yet through the first hairpin. Down in the second hairpin, takes a slightly different line than McNeely ahead, just trying to find a way to get that pass done as much as possible. Through the final corner we go, and down the front stretch. Hendrickson still right there in a stone's throw away and could do anything to really, really find a run here. That is going to be where I think we just have to really keep our eyes on, because that is where things are going to get interesting, because I think it's going to be, that moment of what can they do going through, finding their way around. They're doing a great job running in the moment. Let's just keep your eye on it, though, because things get spicy pretty quick. Now, again, another lap, another run, another thought of a look there, but McNeely doing a great job defending the inside.
You got to ask yourself, how much potentially is McNeely and Maxwell holding each other up? Diesel with another look to the inside coming out of the hairpin section, but Patrick closes the door. But it'll be another peek as we work our way through the dog leg. Kyler Hendrickson having some pace as well, was fastest of the three last time by, and just set the course record of 49.943. Gap starts to widen a little bit more, 1 second separating himself from Maxwell, and that's starting to get out of drafting distance. We're looking for about 8/10 as our magic number to be close enough for the draft to be in effect. It's certainly in effect for Maxwell. Another lap, another look to the inside of the hairpin, but gets back in line. You almost wish, if you're McNeely, you don't have someone peeking on the inside. You have that guy using the bumper to push yourself away from Hendrickson. Give yourself more insurance and one less guy you got to worry about. So it just becomes you and the guy behind you battling for that lead outright come the last, handful of laps.
Yeah, I think something interesting, too, to note that I don't think we've talked about yet is that McNeely and Maxwell are actually teammates going through. They both race for Amax Racing, based here out of Whiteland, Indiana. So pretty interesting to see there. They're running through team owners Brandy and Charles Maxwell going through. Adam Maxwell, the lead driver who's been racing since the age of 9. So no surprise there to see Diesel Maxwell in second, McNeely in first. Teammates working together here. Working together, but working against each other at the same time as they go through. So let's see what happens here as they get to the final few minutes. We're officially into uncharted territory. We've gotten through 5 minutes. It's 4 minutes, 40 seconds to go, plus 2 laps. So the question becomes at this point for Maxwell McNeely, what do they do? Who goes against whom here? Because this is where things are going to get real interesting as they battle. I think they're going to have a great run with each other. It's just a matter of when do you make that pass for Maxwell? What do you do to get past McNeely?
Past halfway home here for the 206 Cadet Final. It's another peak down low for Maxwell, but McNeely not concerned at all. He's leaving that door open and just now swings it down low on the brakes to shut the door. You can see the experimentation from Maxwell right now, trying to run a slightly lower line. But this is some good cooperation between the two of these guys on track. Not always trying to make moves, just trying to keep each other honest. And they've built a healthy bit of insurance between Kyler Hendrickson now, 2.2 the gap between second and third. So the question now is, when do the gloves start to come off for Diesel Maxwell? Do you wait until we see the twin sticks coming out, or do you maybe want to lead for the first time? Another look down low into the hairpin, but McNeely able to roll all of that pace by holding the high line coming out of that Daytona corner, and he'll hold the lead again as we're 7 minutes into the final.
Yeah, I think that they are going to run really competitively here as they go. I think Maxwell might wait a little bit longer. Maybe I'm wrong. If Maxwell feels he's the faster driver, which definitely, I mean, if you're a driver, you're going to think you're the faster driver. Let's be honest here. As we see the battles continue along, still looking for moves where they can be found. Maxwell not able to make a pass yet here. McNeely holding on again as they go through. That gap to P3 has really opened up. And then Crampton and Geist, again, they continue to run along their fourth and fifth, doing great, just trying to put in consistent lap times. Again, as a reminder, ladies and gentlemen, this is the youngest class that we have here on the day. It's ages 7 to 10 as they go. So some drivers still honing in skills, some drivers very competitive. Side by side through the second hairpin we go. Maxwell McNeely looking for something there of a pass, but the pressure's there, the pressure's on. They continue to keep that battle alive. 2 minutes left to go as they go along here, coming across the line, and that is going to be so close. McNeely feeling the pressure now as Diesel Maxwell is going to continue to apply it.
Through that hairpin section, if you're defending, you are spending the next 3 corners basically recovering, because you don't want to get off throttle. You don't want to kill any of that momentum, because that alone is immediately going to give the other guy a chance. But by setting your line up through this corner right here, you're pretty much setting the tone for the next, 3-4 corners. And we're seeing a little bit more experimentation from Maxwell. Not as much fangs out as we saw last lap, but that definitely spooked McNeely as he's starting to defend a little bit more aggressively now.
I mean, at this point, you have to kind of turn up the aggression level on both sides here. You're getting into a minute to go. You've got to defend. You've got to attack a little bit more. This is your final chance going through. Now, we do know that McNeely and Maxwell will be running in the afternoon in the micro class. So, I mean, they'll get to do this again, but still, they want all of the points they can find in 206 cadets now. So let's see what they can get as they go through the hairpin the first time here. Under 40 seconds to go. It will be likely 3 laps to go at the line. I don't think they'll get popsicle sticks this time through here. Maxwell continuing to try to find a run, find a little bit of draft, a little bit of pressure here as we go through. Needs to find a slightly different line and close that gap a little bit to go for a dive here, but still is the fastest kart on track at the moment as they go through along in through the infield section. They go where they'll stop. Well, it's going to be in about 2.5 laps time now as they come through towards Daytona. Pressure's there. I think Maxwell can get this done. It's just got to be a very well-timed pass.
Exactly the kind of day that Patrick McNeely needs. Third in the championship and nearly 300 points back from your leader, James Fox. Bo Laser, also a no-show today, so it's going to be maximum points. And as we head into round 10 come October, it's going to be a phenomenal opportunity for McNeely to work his way into the mix. A pair of top 2s remain the highlight for Diesel Maxwell. He wants to go one more spot forward and get his first win of 2025 for the Indy Karting Challenge. Are we going to see that move happen right here today? Twin sticks are out. He'll have 2 more prime opportunities heading in to the hairpin a little bit further back, but again, he's got a good run. Goes middle of the track to defend, does Maxwell, and they'll stay nip and tuck. And you look just a little bit further up the road, Crampton and Geist, there'll be lap traffic here. Depending on the difference in pace, that could spice things up significantly.
This is gonna very much dial up the spiciness level as we go through. White flag out and we continue to watch these battles go. The question really does come down to, how does this end? And as it goes, right now it is McNeely ahead of Maxwell going along here towards Daytona. They go through, just keeping that battle going ahead of them. They do have that potential lap traffic, but I don't think it's going to be a factor for them as they come through down into the hairpin. They go for the final time. Nothing to be found from Maxwell there. I think Maxwell will have to ride in second, slightly tighter line through the second hairpin, through the 90-degree corner. McNeely going through, not even looking over the shoulder, just head tucked down, doesn't want to think about what's behind, looking ahead, looking for the checkered flag. And McNeely and Maxwell, it'll be an AMAX 1-2, but it is McNeely who will take the win here over Diesel Maxwell.
Exactly what the doctor ordered. That will be 200 points going his way, and he is just like that right in to this championship. Fifth place runner in the championship standings right now, so we'll see how much of a confidence booster that will be for him come next month. We'll step away for just a moment, but it is time to move on to the 206 Sportsman. We'll get to that in just a second.
And let's go over 206 Sportsman starting grid here. Blake Martinez up in the front, Leet Simonelik in second place. It's going to be Kason Hendricks in P3, Christopher Heinzen in fourth, Lincoln Wiley in P5, and Oliver Shahan in P6. Lincoln Wiley, Leet Simonelik, teammates, they also race for AMAX Racing, the local Whiteland, Indiana racing team here. Let's see what can be found for them, if they'll have any opportunity to work together. They're starting opposite sides of the grid here, but sometimes that's not a bad thing. And we'll see how the race start goes. We've seen that race start going into the double hairpins. Be exciting going through here. 206 Sportsman, not the youngest class we have, but the second youngest class we have. 8 to 12-year-olds, slightly heavier karts at 265 pounds, so a little bit more oomph in the karts to get through as they are released onto track here. The 6 karts to take on 10 minutes plus 2 laps around this Whiteland, Indiana circuit.
Only been 2 weekends so far where Blake Martinez has not stood on the podium at some point. Absolute domination so far. A comfortable 300-point lead over Leet Simonelik. That's counting drop rounds. And just a little bit further back, Chris Hansen rolling off in P3. Danny O'Gara, 4th in your championship points. Lincoln Wiley going to get a good opportunity to move forward as well. So again, a little bit bigger kids, a little bit heavier karts. That just means added importance in carrying that momentum, carrying that speed. And Blake Martinez knows this track, knows this kart like the back of his hand. He's shown it to us week in, week out here at Whiteland. Is he going to be able to do the same here for round number 9?
Only one way to find out. Coming through Daytona, they go up in the 2x2 setup. They go a little bit of weaving, trying to warm up the tires, given the signal to slow it down in the tram lines. Let's see here as they hit the start finish line. Green flag is out and we are underway racing. How do they get through the hairpin? Well, they get through the hairpin pretty well. It's outside line, which is so hard to do here, but outside turns to inside. We go 4 wide here early on in the start. Now we switch it back, going through. Race leader gets away very well there of Blake Martinez from pole, but everyone's second place back. It's 3 wide as they cross the line going through, and as they do, that is going to be Hendrickson, Wiley, and Simonelik with Heinzen and Shahan following through. Great battle there from second place on back.
Simonelik way offline at the start, nearly in the grass, coming out of turn number 1. And you've got second all the way back to 6th, bunched up as we head through Daytona for the first time, immediately setting the tone for what you need to do if you want to win this race and your name isn't Blake Martinez. Work together, work with one another. Wiley, not heeding that advice one bit, throws a haymaker at Hendrickson into the hairpin. That brings Simon Ellick into the mix once again. The bump drafting effect not into play at all, and we are still things out as kids just want to stand on that second spot on the podium. Camaraderie already thrown out the window at this point.
No surprise here. This is where you start to see gloves come off through the run for all of the drivers. They tend to just get real competitive here in Sportsman. And let's see that continue along now. Going through towards Daytona we go with a great run. They find second, third, fourth, fifth, Hendrickson, Willie, Simonellic, and Heinzen continuing to go through. Heinzen starting to drop a little bit from this pack, though. So it's Hendrickson, Willie, and Simonellic that continue to battle it along. Let's see here how this continues as they go through the hairpin, still holding on here, and now down in through the front stretch. And there's the tap of the helmet. There's the point forward. That's a very clear signal if you're the cart behind of, hey, let's work together. Let's get this done. Let's move forward. Stop battling with me.
So at this point, comfort maybe in where everyone is running. And now Hendrickson has a little bit of a gap further up as well, with about a 3-4 cart length gap between himself and Lincoln Wiley. We'll see how much that closes up. And now, if anything, it's Wiley, Simon Ellick, and Henson trying to work with one another. Simon Ellick not wasting any time, though. He knows he's got pace in that 40. Jams it up the inside of Wiley, but they continue throwing crossovers at one another coming out of the hairpin. Simon Ellick going to ultimately take that spot, though.
Simon Ellick able to get that move done very cleanly, and I'm sure that number 44 plated Carter Wiley is not going to be happy about that. Lincoln Wiley really was the one hitting the helmet, moving forward, saying, hey, let's work ahead. Simon Ellick very clearly feels to be the faster cart between the two of them and thinks that it's a cork in the bottle situation. We'll see how this plays out here. Will Wiley make any moves back on Simon Ellick going through the hairpins this time around? I mean, you see it done. Now you do it. That is going to be the battle here. Simon Ellick, though, able to pull some time here, closing up on Hendrickson, tucking the helmet down, trying to get everything possible going through. Into the hairpin we go. Not able to find any moves at the moment, but it does look like Wiley has Heinzen for company, and Christopher Heinzen there in that 767 plated cart back in P5. In that red cart is going to be looking to make a move very quickly.
Hendrickson with a big point forward saying, don't even think about it. If either of us want a chance to close this gap to Martinez, we've got 6 minutes on the clock. If you can use that bumper, I know you've got the pace, but you can get some help here if you give me a big push. So we'll see if Simon Ellick is going to finally try and pairing up with someone, or if he's going to carry all that momentum and try to do self-service to close that gap to Martinez. No look here, it seems, going into the hairpin, but we've seen Simon Ellick do some different lines. You can see how shallow he is coming out of the tower corner there. See if he does the same here coming out of the exit onto the dog leg. Runs that momentum a little bit wider, going all the way to the curbing outside, but no move yet from the 40.
Looking for the move as much as possible, not able to make anything stick, though. And that is really kind of the name of the game right now. We've hit the halfway mark of the race just about here. 5 minutes down, 5 minutes plus 2 laps to go. And this is where you have to kind of look and think and figure out what the best decision is right now. Do you sort of settle in with this 5 minutes to go? Do you push and get aggressive here? And I tell you what, if you're that green helmet of Simon Ellick, I would look for a pass behind Wiley and Heinzen. Heinzen looking for a pass there, going through Heinzen, making that pass stick. So it does look like that number 44, that cork in the bottle situation I sort of spoke about earlier, possibly definitely finding itself there, and that number 44 dropping behind Heinzen now, the 767 up into P4. Can the 767 close the gap to P3, though, and try to find a run for P3, P2? 4.5 minutes left to go. It's questionable. It's doable. We'll just have to watch and kind of see what happens here as he tries to close that 1.5 gap that currently sits. Martinez 2.3 out in front, not looking behind, just looking ahead. Clean track ahead. Beautiful, beautiful here. in Whiteland, just outside of Indianapolis here at the K1 circuit. Just a great run there from Martinez right now.
Simon Alec really looking to put the pressure here on Hendrickson. These guys about a 10th quicker than Blake Martinez out in front. As Simon Alec gets right on the bumper of Kason Hendrickson. That time by, what's the gap difference? 48.566 from Simon Alec, 48.647 for Martinez. So a little bit of a noticeable gap difference between the two, but I think it might be too little, too late, and pretty soon I think Simon Alec's going to realize that and might try to pounce on this move for Martinez, trying to match his season best second. He's finished, or excuse me, no, he won last weekend, round 8, his first win in the finals. That came after a round 6 P2 finish. He's trying to run that back right now if he can make a move on the number 2 to get to P2.
And as they continue through here, battling, trying to find that P2 move, it's one thing to catch, it's another to pass, and it's just the patience that sometimes comes with that, trying to find the pass here. Under 3 minutes to go, we go here for the 206 Sportsman Final here this morning. And I will tell you, if you enjoy the look here of Simonelli in P3 battling it out hard, Simonelli will be back for the minis this afternoon as well. Another one of the AMAX racing drivers that will be coming back this afternoon. Again, AMAX, that local Whiteland, Indiana karting team that is looking to have a great run here in the K1 Indy Karting Challenge. Let's just see what happens here through the final couple of corners, and no passes to be found yet as they go through here. 206 Sportsman, 2 minutes 20 seconds to go, crossing the line. And just again, it's one of those things when you're in the sportsman class, you know, you've kind of honed in the racing skills. Now it's just about how do you utilize them on track? Where do you find this pass if you're in P3? If you're Simonelli trying to close in on Hendrickson, if you are Willie trying to close in on Hines, and what do you do to find that pass? Where do you have that little bit more time that you can find to really force that battle? What can you do to try to close in on Martinez as the gap is down to 1.8 seconds as they go? Do you have time to close in on Martinez? Does Martinez have the endurance to make it to the end? It's hard fought, and the answers will come very, very soon.
All the flowers still going to Kason Hendrickson, as the Flying Deuce has been doing a great job of fending off from Simon Nellick. Been driving since he was 2 years old, and by age 6 already had 2 championships under his belt. Your 2022 Micro Swift championship right here at Whitelands, your 2023 Micro Swift champion at Newcastle, and so far has been showing phenomenal pace in these 206s.
60 seconds to go plus 2 laps. So call it 3 laps to go here as they go along. Battles continue for Simonelli and Hendrickson going through. Let's see here how they get along. Just looking inside, outside, trying to find something to get the pass. And it looks like still gap closing down to Martinez now. Gap 1.5 seconds here with 3 laps to go. And the question becomes, can you close that 1.5 seconds anymore? Can you possibly get in a position here in the final 3 laps to look for a win if you're Hendrickson or Simonelli? What point does Simonelli decide to pull through and just go for the P2 here on the final? Let's see here. Martinez tucking the helmet, but again, nobody behind, nobody ahead. Here we go. Simonelli giving a bump here to Hendrickson. They're working together. They're definitely working together here in 206 Sportsman, trying to find the run forward, but they'll come across here. 2 laps to go this time by. And my question becomes, Jackson, what's the gap at the line, and do they have enough time to close it? 1.5 is a pretty considerable gap here with 2 laps to go. What will it be when they cross the line? Let's get an updated refresh on the timing screen. Gap 1.5. I don't think they have enough time to close it.
So if I'm Simon Ellick at this point, again, I'm not seeing those gaps on the dash, but I'm still waiting until I see that white flag. And if I'm not within a visual reference where it feels like I'm within drafting range, I'm going for it. At worst, I'm standing on the podium. I'm already pretty happy with the day I've put together if I'm in Simon Ellick's helmet. but I still have a really great opportunity to get some good championship points here with a lot of no-shows this weekend in the Sportsman. I'm going for it for Hendrickson this time by. What's the gap going to look like as we go back to the white flag? Fastest lap of the day for both Martinez and Hendrickson. Gap slowly going down to 1.4. It's nowhere near enough. And it's time to see what Simonelli can do to put this move on Racing Kaysen.
Coming through final lap, heading into Daytona, and right now that gap has opened up between Hendrickson and Simonelli. Martinez, no concern, it looks like, to anything behind Simonelli in the green helmet. Looking to go outside, turns to outside. Can you make a move here? If you look for it for Martinez, no moves have had to be made, top, bottom, or otherwise. He's just pretty much head down since the race started and gone. Now it's a switchback, though, behind Hendrickson and Simonelli, as Martinez will cross the line for the win. Drag race to the line, and it is going to be Simonelli over Hendrickson.
And just further back, Lincoln Wiley able to snatch that P4 spot from Christopher Heinzen. Some great moves at the buzzer, but nobody able to stop Blake Martinez in the 38. That reign of terror going to continue here in the 206 Sportsman.
What a great way to end off a 10-minute heat there, was saving it right for the final lap, but that is what the hairpin produces. You set that hairpin up right, and it's a great run to the line there. 206 Sportsman with some absolutely amazing final lap racing there. Next, coming up though, we shift from 206 Sportsman to 206 Masters. We go from the youngest drivers on the field to the oldest ones here in the morning, and they are going to give us an absolute barnstormer here in just a moment. And now 206 Masters roll it out on the track here. Evan McCorkindale and Troy Toney battling for the points, battling up front in the front row. J. Brian Williams, P3. Matt Geist in 4th. Kevin Simonelli in P5. Mike Haymaker, he's in P6. He needed to throw some haymakers in the heat. Didn't do so. Can he throw a haymaker out in P6 for the final? Jake Wade 7th. Chad King 8th. And William McLaughlin in P number 9. Going through. Let's see what they bring to the table here as they go through 206 Masters. This is going to be a fun one to watch here. Again, 10 minutes plus 2 laps. You're going to see the difference really between how they race. We kind of got a brief taste of it in the heats, and kind of see the difference in how they race here between the cadets and the sportsmen to the Masters. It's very different styles of racing that you're going to see here, but one thing is the same: it's competitive.
Only one race so far this season where Evan McCorkindale has finished worse than P2 come the final. That was last time out in round 8. He came home in 5th. Still a very broad cast of different winners here. Derek Hastings, Scott Hamble, J. Brian Williams picking up victories and podiums. Are we going to see a new name with Troy Toney and Matt Geist waiting in the wings? Let's find out. 206 Masters Final is a go. Great start from McCorkindale down low on the inside. Toney trying to make it work around the inside in that white markinged Toney kart, but gets back in line. And it's a great start from J. Brian Williams, who immediately gets back in line, gains a spot in the whole shot, and advances up into P2.
And that great advancement there. Let's see how it plays out here in the final run of this race. 10 minutes to go. It's plenty of time for these drivers to settle things out, for things to get mixed up. You're going to see everyone really settle in, follow nose to tail. I don't think McCorkindale will get a big run here, as we saw in Cadets and Sportsmen's for the leaders there. I think this is going to be a case of going through, and I'll tell you what, man, seeing the flagman going through on a scooter every time, just for some reason, catches me off guard for a millisecond going through. It's the best thing ever, though, as they go around through the hairpins for the first time. Brian Williams, Tony holding position where they're at. The black helmet, black suit of Brian Williams, with Tony there just behind in the white cart going through. Let's see what can be found for them as they continue to battle along there. McCorkindale holding along. Fastest cart on track at the moment is Troy Tony, though, in P3.
48.652, the opening lap there. And again, if this pre-final was any indication, we should have an absolute barnstormer coming once we get to the second half of this race. Tony already putting the pressure on Brian Williams into the hairpin. Geist standing by from the wings. And already a healthy breakaway right now for Evan McCorkindale. You see him with a 5.6 cart length. What's that gap going to look like when we get across the line? They need to be within 0.8 to still have any kind of draft, and they are right on that bubble, Brad. 8.28, the gap between Brian Williams and McCorkindale.
Yeah, great fought battle to be found here. And again, as the sun comes out, the temperatures are still very comfortable. It's, mid 60s here at the K1 circuit here in Whiteland, Indiana, but it feels like it's the 70s with the sun. So there is still a tiny bit of, heat to deal with there. 70s is comfortable, but when you're in a full race suit here, in a car, on track, running through for 10 minutes, the endurance can sort of be a thing. So the question becomes, do you pace yourself a little bit here on the start, and then once we get into the final few minutes, kind of ramp it up and give a little bit more? Or do you just try to run it hard from the go? What is the plan there? Again, are you racing this afternoon? All things to consider from all of these drivers as they go along here, coming out of the infield section through the hairpin they go, heading towards Daytona yet again. Let's see what can be found here. They're not closing the gap to McCorkindale, but they're maintaining it, which I think is a big deal here. Let's see, does Troy Tony have a move here on Evan McCorkindale? Gonna look around, not able to find a pass at the moment, but is looking fairly good here, coming through the double hairpin section as they go along, completing this lap. 6.5 minutes to go.
Just further behind, Jake Wade putting the pressure on Mike Hamaker in the battle for P6. You see that just a little bit further back on your picture. Gap has gone up and down. It was as low as 0.6 last lap by 7:17. The gap now. So these guys are just within striking distance. These guys know it, which is why you're seeing such a reservation from Williams, Tony, and Geist. But when is that powder keg going to explode? Williams and Tony doing a good job working with one another right now. They're already breaking apart from Matt Geist right now. Fastest lap again back last time by for McCorkindale, a 48.098.
Those fast laps coming through. And I'll tell you right now, something exciting to kind of watch. If you want something to watch during the break between the morning and the afternoon sessions, Troy Tony has a YouTube channel. Just giving him a shout out there where he posts some of his racing stuff. So if you are looking to see some onboard, some fun stuff, Troy Tony could be one to definitely take a look at. Looks like he's been posting for about the past 6 months. So give him a big shout out there as he goes through. He's continuing to battle his way around and follow his way through, trying to find his way ahead. He's doing a good job, though, I have to say, at the moment. Just looking for a pass where it can be found. Geist has closed in 4th place, and we'll see if Geist in that white cart orange helmet behind is able to find any time to move forward as we go through time updates here. McCorkindale still 6.5 tenths ahead of Brian Williams, with Troy Tony 4 tenths of a second behind.
But now Matt Geist has the pace of 47.848. He's the fastest man on track right now. almost even with McCorkadale on pace. It's frustrating, though, because he's clearly got the single lap speed. He doesn't have anywhere he can really go right now. Heck, he can't really get to the bumper of Tony right in front. Not seeing a lot of pushing and shoving here. I think it's because there's not necessarily a single long straightaway here. Sure, you've got some long lengths of track, but you have the dog leg right here, that right-handed kink, and then obviously in between the exit of the two hairpins, though, that iconic banked Daytona corner. So not a lot of opportunities to really give each other that full bumper help and give them that boost of speed. I think that's why we're seeing the difficulty here from the pack racing. And if you're up front, if you've got good pace and good lines, you're pretty good. You're pretty solid in terms of breaking away.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be exciting to watch and see if the breakaway can come through. Are we going to spread the wings and learn to fly? I know what it takes to touch the sky. Yeah, I'm throwing a song quote in there. I don't mind today. It's fine. Welcome to Saturday Fun here on Kart Chaser. As we go through first place, still McCorkadale trying to pull that breakaway here. Let's see what he's got. He's at 0.8 of a second, not able to go through. 3 minutes left to go here. Brian Williams, Tony Geist still settling it in 2, 3, 4. Nobody wants to really pull the cork out of the bottle, go for a pass, go through. They still are condensed there. 5th place of Simonelik is right there in the mix as well. And then Wade, Haymaker, and King a little bit further back there, continuing to run. And out of Daytona, a great run there from McCorkadale to open up a bit of a gap here. Do we see a move? I saw the nose stick out a little bit from Tony. Tony not able to go through. Tony's going to try it, though, this time through. Switch back around, second hairpin. Tony on Brian Williams, not able to go through. That lets Geist get a run. Geist trying to find his way through, not able to. Side by side, we're going to go. And out of the final corner, it looks like everyone might stabilize it out. That let McCorkadale get a run. But as they cross the line, it is Brian Williams' advantage of that battling. It goes to show racecraft is important, and being able to pick your move just as important as being the fastest on track.
You can see how big that gap has gotten, though, now between McCorkadale and Williams at 1.6 seconds on our timing chart, left-hand side of your screen. Another good opportunity here for Tony to try and make that move on Williams. Are we going to see another copy of that? No, but they are far more bunched up than they have been in the past couple of laps. And the teamwork has clearly gone away. And the question is, who wants to be on the podium more than anyone else? Matt Geist on the outside looking in right now. And I think the approach there for that orange helmet is just let these two in front scrap with one another, bust out the popcorn, and when one goes a little bit too wide, a little bit too deep on the brakes, go in for the kill and take that spot.
Very excited to watch here going through. Let's see who can what where, because right now it is 2, 3, and 4 with a minute to go. That is their battle here. Matt Geist there in 4th place with some experience in electric go-karts, actually, and building electric go-karts. Was able to find some stuff on the back end when we were getting ready for this race today that he's got a little bit of experience helping out with building electric power systems for electric racing carts, which I think is kind of cool to see. That is a little bit older. The forum I found that on was 2022-ish, so I don't know if he's still doing that, but it is pretty cool to kind of see that that is something that was going through a while ago. Not sure if he is still working on that as he goes through there in the cart in 4th place, trying to find his way through 10 seconds to go. Will we get a bonus lap becomes my question here, as Geist is looking outside to inside, trying to find his way through, and he is going to make at least one position here over the black helmet cart as they cross the line going through, and that is Brian Williams, who has dropped 2 places in that black helmet, black go-kart going through. So Geist, Tony able to move up. Did we get a bonus lap? Did we get the popsicle sticks that time? I don't think we did, so we do have a bonus lap on the track.
P2 to P4 for Brian Williams, and McCorkadale in his own zip code, 191 plus 2887 to the rest of the field. And again, what did I say about the strat there for Matt Geist? Let Tony and Williams battle with one another, pick up the scraps. Immediately saw that Tony was going for it and tried going with him. And it took a little bit longer than he wanted, but it paid off. Twin sticks this time by, and now it's all eyes on that murdered out 75 of J. Brian Williams, trying to see what he can do to get his way back onto the boxes.
See what can happen here for them as they go along here. McCorkindale, big gap ahead as that battle's developed behind, and he's just not looking back. I mean, if he does look back, he's going to think he's on the track by himself, which he's certainly not, as he goes along and continues to go through. Second, third, fourth continue to battle, and that is Geist, who has now gotten ahead there of Tony as they've gone through, and Brian Williams, again, the black cart and black helmet behind trying to go through, but that orange helmet there of Geist in the white cart has managed to make his way ahead, and white flag out this time by 1 lap to go, and it is Geist, Tony, Brian Williams, second, third, fourth, McCork where to be found, no battle ahead, no battle behind. He just needs to finish this race cleanly, but second, third, fourth, it's all to play for.
Been a great drive for Matt Geist, who gains 2 positions now after snatching that spot from Troy Tony in the middle. Last opportunity. Troy Tony wants to take that P2 spot back. He lunges to the inside as we work through the tower corner. Great move. He'll lead the pack. And all of a sudden, here comes Brian Williams trying to get to the mix. Tony's off big time. He'll cycle back to 4th. Checkered flag is out. Evan McCorkindale gonna take the final for round 9. And in a drag race to the line, who's got more ponies? Side by side at the line, barely. Geist able to fend off from Brian Williams, with Troy Tony coming home in P4. Kevin Simonellic coming home in P5, with Wade, Haymaker, and King rounding out your field. What a show in our 206 Masters Final.
Now that was jaw-dropping going through. What? That out there, 206 Masters going through and showing that, hey, just because they're the oldest class that we run, actually they beat the oldest class here, but because they're the oldest class of the morning doesn't mean they're the least exciting of the morning here. Now, stand by, ladies and gentlemen, because coming up next, we're going to shift it to KA Junior, your penultimate final here of the morning. Setting up for the penultimate heat of the morning here that will round out our coverage of this morning session of round 9 here of the Indy Karting Challenge here at the K1 Indy Circuit in Whiteland, Indiana, just outside of Indianapolis, Indiana. One would argue Indy is one of the big homes for motorsports here in America. I'd argue there's quite a few of them, though, depending on where you want to go. East Coast, West Coast, South, North. I mean, you can argue that all day. That's a podcast topic, though. What's right on your screen right now is about to be KA Junior Final, and it's going to be an exciting one here. And, of course, make sure after the lunch break you join us for the after when we switch up the classes. A lot of the same drivers will stay. Some new drivers will show, but it's going to be great battles nonetheless here as we wait for KA Juniors to get out on track.
Two-stroke heavy afternoon as we have both the micro and mini Swifts coming up. Plenty more KA action, but again, as you mentioned, plenty of 206s as well, with the medium, junior, legends, and supermaster is going to be a good show with a lot of multi-class madness coming your way after the lunch break. Your starting grid, though, for the KA Junior Final, Mason Galen rolling things off, your championship points leader, alongside Andrew Avalos in that number 7 kart. Jordan Lapine in third has been kind of a dark horse coming into this weekend. Got the pole, but dropped back 2 positions. We'll see what he can do from third. Lucas Laser trying to close that gap in the championship as well. He's your runner-up in the standings right now. I'll tell you what, he would love a main event win here. But again, with these KAs, they race so different from the 206s. We don't know fully what that's going to look like come, once we get past the 5-minute point, what the tire wear is going to be like, what the environment's going to be like. We might need one more warm-up lap, I'll tell you what, because looks like we still got Bentley McCain, Nolan Wade, Juju Sivakumar. A lot of guys taking a while here to get back to the line. Oh, it's going to be close. Going to be a buzzer decision. And green flag is out. Just barely were able to squeeze it in. And Andrew Avelo is going to be able to squeeze it around the outside and take the lead of this pack coming out of the hairpin.
Well, that was a wild start here as we get things going very, very quickly here, heading down towards the line to kick things off as they go. And they do cross the line here, and we get things going. Again, Avelos ahead of Galen, and then Lucian Laser, Nolan Wade, your top 4 with Bentley McCann there. And you're going to try to run it away real quick here in the KA junior category as they go. Avalos needs to keep an eye on that gap behind as we go along through Daytona for the first time under green flag conditions as the marshal goes through on the scooter. These go-karts come flying into the hairpin going through for the first time. And look at that, still trying to set things up. Mason Galen trying to find a move there against Andrew Avalos, Lucian Laser there in P3. And we see moves coming out here. KA Junior competitive off the bat for the lead.
Galen losing that lead at the start. He wants to take it right back, run into turn number 1, that right-left S complex. And again, if we don't see something here, he's putting himself in a prime position once we get to Daytona. Good moves for Lucian Laser as well, gaining a spot. Your biggest mover so far, though, Nolan Wade in the 99, up 2 positions further back in the whole shot. Back to the tower hairpin. Are we going to see a move this time by from Mason Galen? Not quite yet, but with a late exit, he's trying switchbacks. He's trying different lines to maybe get a move going. That was an expensive one, though, and you can see Avelos start to widen that gap by a couple kart lengths.
Absolutely. Mason Galen there, second place, the top kart running the 2024 Sierra KA100 Junior Champion going through. So let's see what he can do with that top kart to try to move it forward up into first place against Andrew Avalos. But right now, pretty well holding in the position, 0.4 of a second back. It's staying pretty consistent here as they come through Daytona down towards the hairpin going along. He continues to battle. Let's see what happens here down into the hairpins. It's still holding there as much as possible, trying to find some sort of a way through where he can. It's easier said than done. Andrew Avalos is another AMAX racing driver here in KA Junior, running in the local team of AMAX and doing a great job here representing at the moment for the local karting team as they come along here through the final few corners. Battles continuing to develop further back. That's going to be 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Laser, Wade, and McCann, they're battling it out here as they go through, continuing along. Gap up front closes a little bit this time through Daytona. And to tell you what, Jackson, I have a feeling that Mason Galen might just be buying time here. We're only 3 minutes in to this 10-minute heat.
I think he's very comfortable with where he's at right now. We talk about that kind of Indy 500 approach of just waiting until the end, giving yourself a prime opportunity. Give yourself enough time to pass, but not enough time for the other guy to potentially swing back. So we'll see. Opportunity might arise here for Galen to get to the point, and maybe he'll be more comfortable to defend, but we'll wait and see. Side by side further back, looks like McCain and Lapine going at it further back for 5th and 6th, as that started to evolve now into a 5 or 6 car freight train.
This is going to be such an exciting run to watch and kind of see what happens here in the final few laps. Laser Wade still battling it out here, third and fourth. You can see that very chromatic purple and blue cart there in fourth place as they go along. They've lost touch to Avalos and Galen, very much so, but they are having an absolute barnstorm battle of their own going through, and Wade dropping all the way into P6 there that time through. So something has happened to Nolan Wade, dropping well down the order this time through as we continue along. Top two closing the gap yet again. Mason Galen has decided to give a little bit of time here and is now trying to close things up, get the battle alive here. Let's see what he can do with that top cart as he looks to make a pass. He's definitely much closer this time through the hairpin, and Avalos running a little bit wide there through the second hairpin. Definitely not setting up for the best speed down the front stretch they'll go, and not able to make the pass yet, but it's certainly there down the inside, down into turn one. Not able to make the pass there. Avalos holding on for just a moment.
That's a change in the playbook for Galen for sure. He wants to be at the point. He wants to have his nose in clean air, whether that's maybe a little bit more confidence on defense or wanting to see what clean air will be like to have your nose out in front. Galen, no move this time through the tower complex. He's done such a great job of setting it up on exit here in the run into the dogleg, getting as close as possible to that grass on the outside without minimizing time or drama. As another good run here across the stripe, as they're almost dead even on pace, but still no move for Galen. It's getting spicy further back though. Laser, McCann, Lapine, and Wade all fighting right now for the best of the rest. Who's going to be on that bottom spot of the podium? Such disappointment for Nolan Wade, who was your biggest mover at the start, has now had major losses in the 99. Here comes Galen to the inside, tries to get that move done in the tower corner, and he's got it. Your pole position driver back to the point.
Now that is a way to send a move there between Avalos and Mason Galen coming through across the line as they go. And let's just see now, can Mason Galen run away with it here? Certainly wants to try, but it's going to be a matter of really trying to make it stick here. So hard fought going through and around. It's going to be interesting to see what can happen here. Andrew Avalos competing in his first national event just last year, finished in the top 15 in his first national. Great run from him.
Here comes
Avalos. Sweep here, going through down the inside, trying to come around the outside here through the hairpin. They go side by side yet again out of the final corner. They come together, and that's going to be a spin.
Heartbreak for Avalos, who gets the chrome horn from Mason Galen, and an anticlimactic battle. That might be a penalty coming the way of Mason Galen. We'll have to wait and see. But all of a sudden, what was a 4-car battle very quickly becomes a 5-car battle, because Andrew Avalos finds himself right in front of Lucian Lacer.
And that is going to spell a big problem here for Avalos, because that is going to be heartbreak and a half going through. But again, as you said, that's going to be likely reviewed post-race. I'd be curious to see what comes out of that, because that was hard racing going through. Now the problem for Avalos becomes you're not going to gain 5 seconds in 2.5 minutes plus 2 laps. So you need to get away from Laser and McCann, because if they smell the P2 coming, which I can guarantee you they do, they are going to start challenging very quickly, trying to get their way forward. They're going to try to get past you. So now Avalos needs to just focus ahead, head down, and make the most of this P2 that he can.
Draft effect only getting stronger now at this point of the track, now that it becomes 5 carts strong. But I'll tell you what, Avalos has really done a good job of getting that 7 machine back up to full song, because there's already a significant margin once again to himself and Laser. And McCain is really putting that pressure in the 111 machine as well. 90 seconds to go on the clock. Mason Galen, still your fastest man on track, but that bottom spot on the podium is still anyone's game.
I would say second place on the podium is possibly coming into anyone's game. We'll see how that gap continues to develop as it goes. It does look like it's kind of settled itself out here as Mason and Andrew, the only karts running 42s, and it was a 44 flat for Lucian Laser last lap through. So I think Avalos possibly in an okay position here for P2, but anything can change that very quickly. You got to keep your eye on
And
it as we go through the hairpin. Under 60 seconds.
Yeah, McCann just changed that immediately. He lunged to the hairpin there to get that move from Laser, and now he gets to the point, and immediately, just in the blink of an eye, Lucian Laser trying to get that spot back already, feeling that pressure in the 111. So we're going back and forth at the front of this four-pack. That's great news for Avalos. He's able to take off with everybody battling further behind. Side by side further back, it could be more losses for Laser as now a look to the inside from Wade. This is for P4 and everybody on top of each other as we work through the tower complex. Still nip and tuck now for the time being. We see a lot of different lines here coming out of the exit and into the dogleg, but no moves yet.
Battles continue to develop through, and it will be 3 laps to go this time by as they go. Leaders well across the line before time expired here. These KA juniors running 42-second laps at the front of the field right now. 42.9, 42.8, so call it 43s actually as they go through, but 42.9, 42.8 is the time being ran by the top 2 right now with that number 7 plated car to Avalos. Faster than Galen right now as they go through, but again, with a 5-second gap, it's so hard to make that up. Coming in through the hairpin we go. Laser, McCann, Wade, and Lappin going through. Can they find any passes anywhere? Not this time coming through. Popsicle sticks in the air. 2 to go this time by, heading towards the infield section, and we'll see if there's anything to be found for that number 64 Mason. He just needs to run 2 clean laps.
No pressure out in front, but the doghouse is still going on further back. Look at that gap between Galen, Avalos, and the rest. A league of their own. You already knew that, though, from the first half, but it's going to be heartbreak for Avalos. We'll see how that works out. Still anyone's game as we're 3 wide going into the hairpin. McCain in that purple and blue machine tries to make the outside work through the hairpin. Everybody gets checked up, and somehow, someway, LePaine and Wade get to the front. Can you believe it?
Have you ever? No, I've never. As we go and hit the white flag, this is intense for the final podium place. Let's see who can find that position going through. Your leaders up front, Galen Avalos, just running away with it here as they go. And as Galen will come through the tower complex here, I mean, not a look ahead, not a look behind. Avalos in a great position, P3, 4, 5, 6, battling it out here, trying to finish things through. But that big lunge there into the final corner, I think might have settled it in. Mason Galen with a great run takes the win here in KA Junior in the final for the morning. Avalos comes across in second. Let's see, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th. They spread things out on that final lap, and it will be Jordan LePen, Nolan Wade, Bentley McCann, and Lucian Laser with Juju Sivakumar in P7.
LePen and Wade able to pick up the scraps there at the very end. Going to be interesting to find out what happened to Bentley McCann and Lucian Laser there. I think they just knocked each other off a line, a little bit of contact, and bogged both of their power plants down. That allowed LePen and Wade to just sail on by. What a showing, though, to get things done. I'll tell you what, I would not want to be Mason Galen on the scale lines right now because there's about to be a friendly conversation coming his way from Andrew Avalos. We'll look ahead, though, as we've got the final heat of the morning session, the final, I suppose, I should say, with 206 lights coming up in just a few moments' time.
All right, and the final of the morning, of the day, for this Class 206 Light Final. I'm not going to say it's the final of the day because we still have the whole afternoon session coming up. Braden Heber up front with Levi Wilbur in P2, Derek Cutshaw P3, Colin Harden in 4th, Colton Kelly lines up 5th with Gage Justiano in P6, Ethan Williams P7, Andrew Goldman in 8th, Zachary Allen P9, and Tyler Sims will be the last kart to take on track here for 206 Lights. 10 minutes plus 2 laps here on Kart Chaser with your grassroots coverage as we go through here at the K1 circuit. And this is going to be an exciting one to watch. They're already forming it up side by side before they even get to Daytona, and they don't really have to form it up until they get out of Daytona. So let's see here. It tells me right now, great battles coming through. In the heat, of course, it was Braden Heber who absolutely was feeling good, got a good run there early on, and it was all basically who wanted second place. Will it be the same way here in the final? Well, it's only one way to find out. They come down towards the tram lines, and let's see how they go. Form through last-second wiggles to warm up the tires, get in the tram lines, get single file, get straight ahead, look for the green flag. Will we get the green flag this time by? Yes, we do. We are live and racing for the Senior Light Final coming through. Great run for Braden Heber through the first corner, and it's all for the scraps behind going through. Heber, though, running wide and loses out. Outside turns to inside. Braden Heber falling back into second there against Wilbur. Wilbur going to try to hold the outside line. Heber will keep it to the inside going through, and Heber will actually get the lead back coming in across the line, and it will be Heber, Wilbur, Cutshaw, top 3 as they go through first lap.
Wilbur able to get that position back for the time being, but Heber remains to keep those fangs out. Good start from Derek Cutshaw as well, able to hold off P3 from Colin Harden, Colton Kelly. They're already pouncing to try and make those moves down Daytona at full song for the first time. Are we already going to see a move from Braden Heber here at the Tower Hairpin onto the binders? And we are nip and tuck for the time being. A little bit of a look further back, looked like one of the Burrell ART cars. I think that's Gage Justin now trying to move forward. For the back, you can also see Kelly on the bumper there of Colin Harden as guys are trying to make moves. But first lap at full pace, it's a purple lap for Levi Wilbur, a 48.308.
Great run from everyone here so far. Now the question is for Heber getting past Wilbur, which is easier said than done. Let's see how they go through Daytona. Everybody keeping it nice and clean here. Top 2 keeping it together. 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. The 4-kart pack just behind as they go through, starting to split into 2 and 2 as they go through up front. Heber still in the blue kart with the green helmet, sitting in second place, trying to find some sort of a way through here. Wilbur going very defensive through the tower section. Down in the dogleg we go, down the front stretch we go, and again not able to make that pass stick there for Heber, not able to find the pass, I should say, as we come through. 2 minutes down already. It's hard to believe that this morning has flown by as we go into the final 8 minutes plus 2 laps here of finals for the morning going through, and 206 Lights. What a good race start they had going through into Daytona we go yet again. Heber, I think, is going to have to make something stick in the hairpin, but it's been such a challenging spot. And as I say it, here we go down the inside. He peaked. He didn't pass.
Wilbur defended there, went late and wide, but was able to carry that momentum and go middle of the track through the hairpin section. That's how they defended from one another. Just behind Derek Cutshaw, leading the best of the rest. Colin Harden, Colton Kelly, and Ethan Williams. Williams with a purple lap that last time by the stripe. Now it goes to Braden Heber, a 47.614. But with 4 karts right on the bumper to one another, they might be able to close that gap to Heber and Wilbur if they continue to go the way they are and don't battle with one another. Prime opportunity coming up. Heber a little bit further back than he'd want to be at this point. Are we going to see the same level of reservation from the 4-pack further behind? Kelly right in the move, right, trying to make a move on Harden, but nobody sticking out of line just yet.
Everybody just sitting content. This is the thing when you know that a heat or a final is 10 minutes long, you know that there's a little bit more time to sort of sit and calculate and think. You don't necessarily have to go for the first move that you see available. You can afford to wait and go for the best move that you see available, but sometimes drivers still go for that first move. That's the fun of the 206 lights, is it's right in that age range where it's kind of a, do you go for the first or do you go for the best, or do you just go for the move and hope that it sticks? You sometimes see them in 206 lights, that age 15 and up class group, go all the way through here as we continue along. Up front, Heber, you can see going for the move that sticks will be the name of the game there for P2, not making a pass yet. Back in the back, though, look at that. The blue helmet down the inside of Kelly making a great move on Harden there. Trying to make that stick, doesn't. You can see there, Harden with the hand up, the fist forward, saying, hey, don't fight me. We need to go forward. Stop trying to fight me. It's not the time. We need to close up to the carts ahead. But very clearly, Kelly finding that opportune move and wanted to go for it in the hairpin, tried to make it stick down towards Daytona yet again.
Same mental approach, I think, for Heber right now. I think he knows he's the fastest kart on track, which is why we're seeing that aggression. The commentator's curse sucks so bad, dude, because I try to make a point on how someone's being reserved, and then Heber immediately makes a lunge into the tower hairpin and tries to make that move around the outside, has to get back in line. And I stand very corrected because Heber's getting the fangs out just as we reach halfway home, but those two battling is slowly but surely bringing your new fastest man on track, Derek Cutshaw, in third in the 94 into this mix. Still everybody on top of each other all the way back to P6. Ethan Williams has a shot at this.
Listen, Jackson, the commentator's curse never gets old. Just know that you either buy into it or you don't. It's just, that's where it's at here. Cutshaw is now going to put us to the test here. Let's see if Cutshaw can make a run here. He's got the helmet down. He's got the run. Does he go for a move? No, he's just right to the back of Heber, and Heber's going to hear that cart behind potentially, kind of hear the noise change a little bit and go, I don't remember the cart sounding like this a second ago. And now the question becomes for Heber, what does he do? He needs to get past Wilbur. He feels like he's the faster cart, but I hate to break the news to everyone on track right now. The fastest carts are Harden, Kelly, and Williams, 47.4s. Last time through, fastest cart on track, Colton Kelly, sitting in P5. So top three, not the fastest, but with under 4 minutes to go, do they just have what it takes to keep the elbows out, keep the blocks there? Because it's 6 carts within a second of each other that all have a possibility to get the win here in 206 light.
Wait 2 more minutes and then the gloves will be fully off, as there's a big lunge there from Cutshaw trying to do a Martinsville mash into the bumper of Heber, just using all of that momentum to push the guy in front of you at the apex of the corner. You can see how much Harden is putting his face into the wheel. He's trying to maximize that straight line speed and get into the podium spot. And with 3 minutes to go, he's running out of opportunities, but there's still an endless amount of them. It's just a matter of when the powder keg's going to go off and when everybody's going to try and take the throne from Levi Wilbur.
The throne is there for the taking, I'll tell you that much. It's just a matter of when you do it. And I gotta say, if I've learned anything through this morning, it's right now. As Heber's gonna try to go to the inside. Inside turns to outside, though, and Heber's gonna drop to third. Tried to go for the opportune move in the hairpin, and the hairpins are not the place to make the move, unfortunately. If you have a cart behind and you're the cart ahead trying to make a move, if you're the middle of a 3-cart sandwich, that's not the place to do it. And Heber now drops into third, was in second. Now, for Braden Heber, this just became so much more challenging with 2 minutes, 15 seconds to go, because the question now becomes, you need to get to first. So what do you do now? It's hard fought. It's going to be challenging, because if Heber does something wrong, Heber could end up in 6th place now. So Braden Heber's got to calculate it right, is going to try to follow down the inside here.
Here comes Cutshaw.
Goes 3 wide, goes 2 for 1.
What a move!
And makes it stick. Can he make it stick? He goes outside contact, and there's a cart up on a cart going through, and that is someone off going through. Heber finds the lead, though. Heber finds the lead.
Somehow, some way, Braden Heber just found his way back to the lead. Wilbur getting a little bit too thirsty there for it in the 506, takes Derek Cutshaw with him, and all of a sudden that makes it a 4-kart battle with nobody within striking distance. Colton Kelly, your next best driver. And it suddenly becomes shades of what we saw in the heat, as nobody is home for Colton Kelly.
All right. You know that thing about commentators, Curtis, and me saying like hairpin's not the best place to get a pass? Yeah. Welcome to commentator Jackson. That's how that one goes. Yeah, no, that's wow. Thank you for proving my point there, Braden Heber. I hope you hear this later.
There
if
we
you
go.
Go back and watch this broadcast, as most drivers do. And I'm sure I will get a DM from somebody that is going to just say, ha ha. And I will know exactly what you're talking about. So with that being said, under 40 seconds left to go on track, and Heber has a 1 second gap there on Colton Kelly and is going to just try to run away with it. Cutshaw still, the fastest kart on track, but is well out of contention of this at this point as we go through. Heber opening up the door. The battle really at this point is P3, I'd say, as P2 there of Colton Kelly is just holding on there. Colin Harden and Ethan Williams will continue to battle it out for P3. We might have a P2 battle on the hands depending on how Colton Kelly goes. Now, do we get a bonus lap this time through? Yes, we do. Bonus lap. So crossing the line with 4 seconds to go, it'll be 3 laps to go this time by.
Getting close to curtains here. This extra time is going to help Colton Kelly try to close that gap, but it's only getting bigger between himself and Heber for the time being, and he's got bigger issues just behind him with the 11 of Colin Harden right there, as well as Ethan Williams. But man, what could have been such a great battle with Derek Cutshaw and Levi Wilbur unfortunately goes south. And now Williams trying to put the pressure on Harden. You can see that further back, that red 94 of Cutshaw trying to put the pressure on Williams bumper to bumper. And the twin sticks finally come out. And Heber looking to continue this dominance he has had into round number 9. No pressure from the back.
It didn't look like Heber was going to have this dominance. If you had asked me with about 2 minutes into the race, I wouldn't have said that. And then Heber managed to pull off just an absolute big move in through the hairpins and go through. And now that gap, 1.5 seconds and continuing to stretch, having a great time here for him as he goes through the 2 to go. Kelly in second place, holding off Harden and Williams, 3rd and 4th. Cutshaw in 5th, starting to close up a little bit and possibly try to have a run for a P3, but with 1 lap to go as they cross the line here, just a little bit too much gap and just not enough time, I would argue, as we go through here. Across the line, white flag is out. Heber, 1 lap left to go. Excuse me, right now it is going to be Harden and Williams very close together.
And they're side by side, but Williams backs out. No pressure now for Kelly with a consistent lap to end here. He won't have any pressure further back from the 11 and the 42. As it's the last call, Williams carries that momentum to the outside. He'll try to go the long way around into the tower hairpin. Harden defending middle. And tell you what, it's slowly but surely dragging Kelly into this mix. Checkered flag is out, and Braden Heber gonna bring this home to continue that domination for another win here in 2025, with Colton Kelly just coming home, fending off from Harden, Williams, and Cutshaw. What a way to wrap up our morning here at K1.
That was a wild way to finish that race. Braden Heber up in front, Colton Kelly P2, Colin Harden P3, Ethan Williams, Derek Cutshaw, Gage Justiano, Zachary Allen, Levi Wilbur, Andrew Goldman, and Tyler Sims top 10 through. That ends our morning coverage here on Kart Chaser, and I don't have much more to say than wow, honestly, on that one. If you're at track live, Kids Kart coming up, and then from there, it's lunch. Hopefully you get some good food, and then from there, we're going to go the afternoon sessions. Micro Mini, 206 Medium, 206 Juniors, 206 Legends, Supermasters, KA Senior Masters will be for the afternoon. Be sure to join us back here in just a little bit here on Kart Chaser. On behalf of Jackson, on behalf of everyone behind the scenes making this possible, My name is Brad. Join us here in a little bit. We'll take you start to finish yet again.
Hey, what's up, Caleb?
What's up, Brandon?
You sound defeated. A long day at the office?
Yeah, got stuck at a cat food marketing meeting for like 3 hours. I don't know a thing about cat food, and I don't even work in marketing. And then I got sent on a coffee run like I was some sort of intern. Then at the end of the day, when I went to go get gas, I just realized everything is so darn expensive nowadays, man.
Yeah, you got that right.
Like, do you have any idea how much we're spending on Netflix?
That's like $20 a month.
Do you know how much we're spending on cable?
That's like $50 a month.
But you know what isn't expensive?
Tell me.
Kart Chaser Premium. For only $9.99 a month, you can watch all the American karting action live from coast to coast. Subscribe and become a member today.
Paulie Massimino wins in KA. Paulie Massimino is a winner in OKN Stars.
Take your driving to the next level with one-on-one coaching from 2024 OKN Stars champion Paulie Massimino. Kart rental options are available if you'd like to keep yours at home, and drivers in all classes are welcome, from Briggs 206 to Mini to K100 and X30. With in-depth data analysis, onboard video footage review, and lead follow on-track sessions, each private coaching session will see you end as a more complete driver than when you started. Book your coaching session now.
The K1 Circuit Semi-Pro League. This is a competitive race series with 2 classes. Junior Series for those who are under the age of 18, and the Senior Series for those who are 18 or older. If you think you have what it takes, come out and prove your skills on League Night. Both schedules are live on the K1 Circuit website. Your Kart Chaser live feed will resume shortly.
Champions aren't just born on the kart track. At SimShop, we deliver professional-grade simulators with the best performance-to-price ratio in the industry. Founded by racers who understand what you need, our SimMagic and Moza equipment is powerful enough for the pros, yet affordable for everyone. With unmatched customer support and a thriving community, we're your racing partner. Visit simshop.com today.
Are you ready to get behind the wheel? From Formula One to NASCAR and IndyCar, all the pros start here. For more information, check us out online at mcckarting.com or call us and go racing today.
Paulie Massimino wins the Wisconsin Grand Prix. James Overbeck on start number 2 gets win number 1 in OKN Stars.
On track or off, Brandon Jarsekrak Racing delivers elite performance. Led by 4-time Pro National Champion Brandon Jarsekrak, our team masters driver coaching, data-driven analysis, and mechanical precision at every national event. Contact us today at BrandonJarsekrakRacing.com.